Now it's time to Kincade and Salciunas is on the air. Broadcasting live on the Fanatic app and YouTube channel. Here are your hosts, John Kincade and Andrew Salciunas. 97.5 The Fanatic, Philadelphia.
Yep, we are here. Happy Thursday morning to you. I am Andrew Salciunas alongside my man, John Kincade. And Connor, we have fights within the family going on right now here on 97.5 The Fanatic.
And I hate it when mom and dad fight.
I know. And like here we are. Like we're basically Switzerland at this point, Connor and I, because I understand everybody's point. So I'm going to be the politician here. Go, hey, I hear you, man. And then as soon as I talk to the other person, I'm going to say, hey, I hear you, man. And then I'll talk smack about John behind his back to Bill.
Okay.
And I'll talk smack to John about Bill behind Bill's back. And they're going to both think that I'm on their side. And really, I don't care.
We do care, though.
At least you've laid it out on the table. At least you've laid your cards out on the table.
Oh, you're right there. I didn't see him over there, John. I'm sorry.
I don't know how I got into a beef with Bill till my phone started to blow up yesterday afternoon. That Bill was ripping me on Unfiltered.
All right. Are you surprised when it comes down to the context of why he was ripping you?
I don't understand.
Are you surprised?
No.
Exactly.
But I do not understand. I never, you know me, I'm very rigid, very black and white. If you haven't figured that out by now, you know that. I don't understand how Nick Sirianni got drawn into this. But I think Bill, as an attorney, I guess, is used to doing these things in a court of law. Now he's doing it in sports talk radio every afternoon.
Well, I mean, you should not be surprised considering we literally have this.
Sirianni love.
That's his boy.
It is. He does.
Billy Sirianni.
And the thing is, I like Sirianni. I don't do the Sirianni love, but I like him.
Billy Sirianni has responded. So it's Thursday. On Tuesday, I thought it was actually a really good show. Like, I thought a lot of our listeners were reasonable, too. Because usually when
I think so, too.
You're talking about potentially moving on from a quarterback, and that's not even what the conversation was. It was just whether or not you agreed with the Eagles' strategy. The Eagles' strategy of setting up a quiet prove-it year for Jalen Hurts, a lot of people were actually reasonable about the discussion, which I appreciate that. Like, because usually it's filled with vitriol and anger, like this whole A.J. Brown thing that we've been dealing with since the season's been going on. So Jalen Hurts, once more, in case you have no idea what's going on, next year, after this season ends, his guaranteed money plummets. It's not completely out, but it plummets. And usually at this stage of a big-name player,
right,
their contract starts getting renegotiated, like at this stage. And we had Derek Gunn on months ago. And we asked him, hey, by the way, we haven't heard anything about this. Like, is that happening?
He didn't even hesitate.
He didn't hesitate. He said no. And he didn't think that it was even close to happening. We have asked numerous local reporters. We asked Adam Schefter about it again yesterday. Still nothing in the works. Now, Schefter's wondering why you would even need to bother at this point, which is kind of the spin that I have on it. But bottom line is, usually we are all knowledgeable enough to know that this is the time where we start hearing about negotiations. And there's been nothing. We've heard about it with Jalen Carter, right? Like, how many times have we heard,
right,
hey, they picked up the fifth-year option, but this is just the beginning of them renegotiating that next deal, the contract extension. We've heard about that.
Yes.
We know that Howie Roseman is a guy that does like to work ahead of schedule, which is actually a brilliant move because he usually saves a couple of millions when he works on deals ahead of schedule because cap always goes up. Quarterbacks always set the market, and if you can get ahead of it earlier, that's why you say, man, that deal was a steal. Because you look at Jalen Hurts' contract right now, it's actually a steal compared to some of the other quarterbacks in the NFL.
Why is that, by the way?
Because they got ahead of it early. And
they did it a year earlier than they even had to.
And as the years have gone on.
Which is what I'm clamoring for them to do again.
Yeah, and as the years have gone on, more quarterbacks have gotten paid and paid and paid
right.
and paid. So we talked about that on Tuesday. If John could snap his fingers and get Jalen Hurts a contract extension right now, you would do it.
I would absolutely do it.
I'm out. I'm doing the prove it year. I'm pro what the Eagles are doing because the point that I made, that Shefty made yesterday, it's it's going to cost a lot of money regardless. And it might not be like tens of millions of dollars. It could be $2.5, $3 million.
No. There's no world where waiting a year costs you $2 million more. No, there's no word. There's none. 7, 8, yes. No world is it 2. There's no world in any mythical land is it going to cost you $2 million more against the Kings.
All right, so
they're not. If it was $2 million, I wouldn't even bat an eye, and I'd say, okay, wait. It's not going to cost you $2 million. The cap's going to go up, and the next jump in quarterback is going to jump. It's going to jump more significantly than that. His guaranteed money is what's going to jump more.
That'll be the big one.
That's going to be the big one. It's going to be a bigger jump. And more importantly, other guys are going to set the market. And if Lamar Jackson gets a contract before Jalen Hurts is going to get a bigger contract than Lamar Jackson.
Now, here's my one thing with the contract. So Lamar, if he gets his new contract, I don't know. Like, I feel like Dax is the outlier right now, the $60 million a year.
Remember, that was on the $60 million was on because they had to do it.
They screwed up with how they handled him. So the next group of quarterbacks, there's 4 quarterbacks getting paid the same average annual salary, and it's Burrow, Allen, Love, Lawrence at 55. So what? Lamar goes up to 57.5?
Well, no, it's more of the guaranteed money that he's going to get. Lamar is going to break the bank.
Okay.
I mean, he is going to break the bank. And when he gets his money, and if he gets it this offseason, that's what they want to do. That is what Baltimore wants to do. He's going to then Jalen's been to 2 more Super Bowls.
Yeah.
He's getting more than that.
So if you believe in the resume of Jalen Hurts, which very, very clearly from our discussion this week you do.
I do.
Yeah. Why do we care about the guaranteed money? Hey, signing bonus doesn't hit the cap. We're keeping him regardless because the resume is that good. It doesn't affect how the Eagles operate. He gets more money
What do you mean
up front.
signing bonus doesn't hit the cap?
It doesn't affect the cap. You give him that money up front.
Yes, it does. It affects the cap. It's spread out over the years of the contract, but it affects the cap. It counts against the cap.
No, you could give signing bonus that does not affect to the cap number for that year.
Isn't that what they've done with Lane Johnson for the last 5 years?
All it does is it just is the guaranteed money. You can adjust cap money, so you keep adjusting that money. The money all counts against the cap. It all counts. You could shove it around and say, we're going to pay it this year, pay it next year. It's all going to count against the cap at some point. All you're doing is saying when you have a signing bonus, if you say to Jalen Hurts, we're going to give you $100 million guaranteed on a 5-year deal, it's going to count on the deal the day it's signed. It's going to count $20 million every year. It's going to count $20 million against the cap. That's what it's spread out over the 5 years. Now, what the Eagles could do is then mess around and say, we're going to give you some more money. And that's what Howie does great.
And that's why Jeffrey Lurie's a great owner because
he gives the money up front. Right. A lot of owners will not do that. By the way, Jerry Jones
won't do it.
Jerry Jones, who is the richest owner in the NFL by far with their franchise, will not do it.
When they win last?
He just won't do it.
It's been a while.
Point stands, though. So if you wait, you just let Howie manipulate it. You spread it out, and it doesn't hurt you as much as other teams.
Yeah, but here's the problem. Is what you've done is we're all glorifying Howie because of what he's done recently in the draft. All those bills are coming due. This is like the guy who says, I know I've got a car payment, a rent payment, all these bills coming due. But you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go and blow it out in Vegas this weekend and say, I'll worry about those bills when they, whatever.
Well, you say blow it out in Vegas. What if you hit? And then you make more money, John. Yeah. That's the beauty of gambling. All right, so Billy Sirianni.
You're sucking me in with that line of
Billy Sirianni hears John Kincade talking about Jalen Hurts.
That he shouldn't have the term prove it year is just what I have an issue with.
Right. And Bill's like, well, why do you have an issue with it? So here is audio from Bill yesterday on Unfiltered. You will hear John's voice in it. Because Bill found a clip from, I think, January.
That's good.
That you'll hear be brought up. So 4-month-old audio. And then Bill responds. And as he's responding, you won't be able to see it because we're replaying it. But if you see the video on 97.5, the Fanatic's Twitter account, his veins were popping out of his neck because he was so angry. Like his back was up against the wall because of Billy Sirianni or because of Nick Sirianni. Here's the audio from yesterday.
Anyone who would argue, like John Kincade did yesterday, that this can't be a prove-it year because of Jalen Hurts' resume He's been to the playoffs 5 years in a row.
You're going to do this, aren't you?
Yes, I am. Because Hurts has been to the playoffs 5 years in a row. He's gone to 2 Super Bowls. He's won a Super Bowl. He's had different coordinators. You could say the exact same thing about the head coach, Nick Sirianni. Because I just played for you John Kincade saying that it is asinine to say it is a prove-it year for Jalen Hurts because of his resume. This is the hypocrisy of not only John Kincade, but a lot of Eagles fans out there. John Kincade back in January didn't care about Nick Sirianni's resume. It's a prove-it year for Nick. Listen to Kincade back in January.
360 days.
He's got to prove that he's still the head coach of the football team.
Clock's ticking. The watch is on. Clock's ticking. This would be, to me, the year where I say, prove it or not. And if it is not a great year, and I mean great year, I am absolutely moving on.
Wow.
You're not hearing the hypocrisy here, and I know it's not just John Kincade. There's a lot of Eagles fans who, if you dare say it is a prove-it year for Jalen Hurts, will attack you. They will come after you. They will call you a hater. They will tell you you don't know what you're talking about. And what they will look at is the 5-year resume of Jalen Hurts, which is identical to Nick Sirianni's 5-year resume. So how could this be a prove-it year for the head coach and not a prove-it year for the starting quarterback? Please explain that one.
All right, so we will have a question I have a question that's not just Hurts. It's not a Hurts Sirianni thing.
Okay.
But I'll get to that in a few minutes. I would like for you to respond because you were the subject.
Yeah, I mean,
of this clip.
I think I can understand Bill's passion about it, and I also have no problem. I have no problem with Bill saying it sounds hypocritical, because I can understand someone saying that. So I got no problem with Bill saying that. What I will say is this. Is Nick Sirianni ran off his offensive line coach, a guy who is one of the greatest position coaches in the NFL. He's gone because of Nick Sirianni. If you haven't figured that one out, just do a little research. Nick Sirianni has shown he cannot be supported without being propped up by great coordinators. So when you have great coordinators, and believe me, I respect this. I respect a guy who is a leader who can oversee a great organization and keep things rolling well. So what Nick Sirianni's done as a head coach, I greatly respect it. But greatly respecting something and not understanding that he is just a matter of the sum of the parts. Nick Sirianni without great coordinators, well, he might as well be Rich Kotite. By the results, he's Rich Kotite. By the results, he's Buddy Ryan. Because he doesn't win. He doesn't win playoff games unless he has great supporting coaches that can really do the heavy work for him. As I've said before, this is a guy who was hired as an offensive guru. He's supposed to be this offensive, genius. And he comes in here, and when the offense has been crashing in his tenure, he is the guy, the plane is going down, and Nick Sirianni is sitting there in seat 11C, and someone says, can somebody fly the plane? The pilot's had a heart attack. And Nick Sirianni is ordering another Diet Coke. He's a pilot, but he can't fly the plane. He can't do anything to take you out of the nosedive. And it's been proven multiple times. To compare the resumes of Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts to me is humorous. Absolutely humorous. Bill, I know you have Google because you've been an attorney, and you also probably had researchers who did your work for you before you got to court. So why don't you put them to work for you? Jalen Hurts was a winner, was a champion, was a leader, was highly successful before he ever knew Nick Sirianni's name. Jalen Hurts has a resume of success long before he ever had an association with Nick Sirianni. Comparing the two of them, well, I'm just going to tell you, that would have gotten you thrown out of like district court somewhere in Podunk, New Jersey. That's ridiculous.
All right.
Those two people are not the same. Not the same in football lore.
With all that being said,
Yes.
you agree that the Eagles are doing something here with the Jalen Hurts
Oh, I
contract.
absolutely
You
do,
don't
and I
like
understand
it,
that.
But you agree, nobody is saying, I'm sure there's a fan out there that's saying, what are you guys talking about? This isn't real. because like we just did that with the whole A.J. Brown trade, which will happen in a week or two.
No, this is with agenda.
Like the Eagles are doing something. I think we can all be man enough, big enough, and agree that the Eagles are quietly doing something with Jalen Hurts when it comes to his contract. So off of this, have we reached like a pendulum swing type season with the Philadelphia Eagles? And hear me out. We're talking about Jalen Hurts' quiet, prove-it year because they're not giving him a contract extension or even negotiating when this is when they would normally have it. I agree with you about Nick Sirianni. Like, Nick Sirianni, you did the whole clock's ticking. Like, yeah, I mean,
if he does not win a playoff game, I believe Nick Sirianni will be gone.
I agree with you.
I think he's going to be gone.
And I push back on that. So I'm more on the side of the point that Bill was trying to make.
Bill
there.
wasn't making a
he wasn't.
Bill, I listened. I was actually listening to what happened. Bill believes the prove-it year for both.
Yeah, yes, and I don't think.
Which I think is fair and reasonable. I get it.
Yeah.
But to put the two, I can tell you the organization would wait, what, today's Thursday. I don't know what day, the day you put out the recycling and everything. This organization would put Nick Sirianni out on the curb so much faster than it would Jalen Hurts. It's not even close. It's not even close.
Sure
I'm not so
that.
sure. I don't know. I mean, like they'd be working on his contract. If that's the case, they would say, let's renegotiate Jalen now, and if it doesn't work out this year, we fire Nick. We got him under contract. We fire Nick and get a new head coach in.
I'll put the challenge to it right now. When Nick Sirianni won the Super Bowl, he got an extension, right?
Yeah.
Yes, but we don't know how many
Nobody
years.
heard about the extension, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you the extension was short.
Sure.
People very much in the know told me it was short. So if I think about it being short, he was under contract for last year. That tells me it was probably 2 extra years added on to the past year, which was god-awful, by the way. So that means they have 1 more year of Nick Sirianni, and I'm just going to guess they put a couple of years onto it.
I think the contract for the coach is a flawed way to compare him to the quarterback because negotiation for a coach's contract or extension is very different than trying to beat a market value on a franchise quarterback.
I don't think this organization, Connor, they almost fired him in the offseason after going to the Super Bowl, and then they almost fired him at the bye week 4 games into the next season. They don't look at Nick Sirianni the way they look at Jalen Hurts. It's bottom line. The organization looks at head coaches, and I'm not just saying it's a like I'm not looking at you and saying you're nuts. It's the organization the way they look at coaches. I think they look at head coaches as almost interchangeable parts.
Or they have them tied to one another. That could be it too. I mean, they could say both of you. Prove it now.
Oh, they could.
Both
Oh, no,
of
they
you.
absolutely could.
And so that's just Hurts and Sirianni. Then you have legitimate questions about your offensive linemen, right? The future of Lane Johnson, the future of Landon Dickerson, the future of Cam Jurgens. Can their bodies hold up? I think he's going to be fine. I've said this 100 times, but is Devontae Smith able to take that leap to be like the guy, right? Like A.J. Brown's leaving. So somebody has to take that next leap forward. And I'm not putting my money on Dontavian Wicks to all of a sudden go from like a 400-yard receiver to like a 1,200-yard receiver. Like Devontae Smith has to be that guy. I think that he does, but that's another question. That's another prove it. That's another pendulum swing. So are we reaching a point right now where I'm not saying franchise teetering like they're going to fall, they're going to be the Jets, but we're talking about the Eagles being perennial Super Bowl contenders year in, year out, right? Are we reaching a point where we have more questions than answers with the Eagles?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
I just
We're talking about the head coach and the quarterback.
Are you talking more? First of all, I could go to any one of a number of the top college programs. I could go to any one of a number of teams and say, I can get you a coach as qualified and as competent as Nick Sirianni. I can get you one.
the Super Bowl winner?
I can get you a coach as competent and as qualified as Nick Sirianni.
Well, he might not be as good of a leader. Nick Sirianni's a good
No,
leader.
Nick Sirianni is a good leader. Look, I'm not painting it that Nick Sirianni is some people like to paint it like he's a buffoon, anything like that. He's not. He is a guy that has his own skill set. But his skill set, like this isn't Nick Sirianni is not a strategist. Nick Sirianni is not some master game planner.
Right, but if
He
you're
is not
telling
some
me
that.
you could go to the college ranks and find me somebody right now who's going to go to a Super Bowl and win another, like what are you
With
doing?
this-
What
with
are you
this
doing
roster?
working here? Because every NFL team would hire you.
With this roster, if this roster's open, absolutely there would be any
Well-
one of a number of great coaches that would love this job.
This
that
roster-
would froth for this job.
This roster where we're questioning the quarterback, questioning 3/5 of your offensive line.
I think they have one of the best young rosters in the NFL.
All right. Are the Eagles at a point where you have more questions than answers? Where you're thinking about down the road? We're talking about a prove-it year for Jalen, a prove-it year for Nick, prove-it year for a lot of guys, quite
For a lot
frankly.
of guys, it is.
Health is a big factor in here. 610-632-0975. You can climb in. Phone line, Davis Honda text line, voice memos. It's all the same number, 610-632-0975. Now, coming up next, before we continue this conversation, we will get your reaction to it, we promise. There are two Philadelphia storylines that we got to react to. One that makes you wonder, like, what's actually going on with a superstar player. The other, well, this guy's just an idiot. It's Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5, The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Another rough one for Aaron Nola. I'm Connor Thomas, and the Phillies lost their first series under interim manager Don Mattingly yesterday, falling 9-4 to the Reds. Aaron Nola had another rough start, allowing 8 hits and 4 runs in just 5 innings worth of work. Nola talked after the game about what's been going wrong lately.
Some fastballs over the plate, getting 2 outs and then 2 quick outs and then getting guys on. I feel like I've had a lot of traffic every inning. Had 2, 1, 2, 3 innings today, but overall, this year it's been traffic a lot.
And maybe recently is not the right word. He's been struggling for a while now. The Phillies are off today. They'll welcome the Guardians to Citizens Bank Park for a 3-game series starting tomorrow. The Sixers are still searching for their next president of basketball operations, but they found a stud in their young rookie. VJ Edgecombe was named to the NBA All-Rookie First Team yesterday. And some concerning news for the Eagles came out late last night as it was reported that edge rusher Nolan Smith was arrested Friday, accused of speeding and reckless driving. No word on any discipline handed down from the league or the Eagles yet. We'll keep an eye on that as they start team offseason activities on Tuesday. Andrew Deco joins us from the 8 o'clock hour to the end of the show. Anthony Sanfilippo of On Pattison joins us at 9:05. This update is brought to you by Foreman Mills. Philly 2201 Cotman app is open and the grand deals are still on at Foreman Mills. I'm Connor Thomas for the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and Union. 97.5 The Fanatic and The Fanatic.
on the Fanatic app.
This hour of Kincade Salciunas is presented by Bradford White Water Heaters. Bradford White, they're here for the pro.
It is 6:30 here on Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic. All right, we'll get back to this discussion about the prove it year for a lot of people, because it's not just Jalen Hurts that the Eagles are setting this up for. If we take a step back and we do the 30,000-foot view, it's Nick Sirianni prove it year. There's two offensive linemen that we're literally asking about the future of their health, not ability. Well, ability to be able to walk. Unfortunately,
I already told you I do not believe that within 2 years there will be no. Landon Dickerson will not be here.
And look, Lane Johnson probably won't be either.
I don't believe he will either.
And then Cam Jurgens has legitimate questions too.
Cam may have been a bigger worry than any of them.
I mean, a back. We're talking about back issues for a guy that's a center. Like, yeah, that doesn't really get better. By the way, finally, Aiden Miller, baseball activities.
He's swinging a bat
for the first time.
No, he looked at a baseball.
Yeah,
that's
That's good.
He made eye contact with one.
So we'll get back to this discussion coming up in a little bit, but there are some other storylines to address from yesterday. The first, Phillies lose. We'll get into a Nola discussion. Don't you worry. Our very first comment on YouTube this morning, Johnny. Renee said morning.
Good morning, Renee.
Morning, Renee. Our second comment was from TMM. Nola stinks. So,
okay,
we'll get there. We promise. But Kyle Schwarber was out of lineup again yesterday. Still listed as out with an illness. He was available to pinch hit yesterday.
Yeah, that's good. Thoughts and prayers.
But he was at a charity event last night. That it was his event. And by the way, we all love Kyle Schwarber, the person, the player, everything about Kyle Schwarber we love. He's very charitable. A lot of success with what he's been able to do in the community. So we love you, Kyle Schwarber. This is not like
we love that Kyle Schwarber is doing good work in the community.
This is not an attack Kyle Schwarber thing. It's me questioning what's going on, because
it's a bad look, though.
Let me ask you guys something.
It's a bad look.
If I was sick,
yes,
what would be the 4 words that probably came out of your mouth if I said I was sick?
Don't come in today.
Or stay away from me.
Stay away from me. Get away from me.
We could probably find a lot of 4
No, I would say, no, I do.
Sentences.
By the way, we do.
Yeah.
We do have a policy on this show with us as a group. If somebody has the fungus among us, we will say, stay the hell away from me. And we will all tell each other, stay home.
Yeah, like I've heard Connor come in here like,
and we'll be like,
and I'm like, yo, dude, stay away from me, dude.
Don't bring it into the rest of us. And when I was immunocompromised, at that point, as a whole station, everybody had to be really careful with it because I was in a dangerous spot.
Yeah.
So people had to be really careful with it. So I appreciate it.
And even if you're not compromised, I think nobody wants to get sick.
No, nobody wants to be sick.
So when I hear Kyle Schwarber out with illness, and then I see him 2 out of the 3 games in the dugout, I go, well, that's weird. Like, why?
That's weird.
Why is this?
Why are you not home? If you're not,
this is a lack of contagious virus, I guess.
Be home in bed.
Or stay away from the players, because how many times have the Sixers had like the rampant gastrointestinal issues where all of a sudden half the team's got stomach issues, right?
Be home.
Stay away, Kyle. Like, we love you. Stay away. We don't need you near anybody.
And then, do you want to be out in public? If it's too much that you can't play, do you really need to be out in public?
Which is why I wonder, is he actually ill, or did he tweak something? And like, we're just not getting the real answer. And I'm not saying tweak something like he's done for the season. I mean, like,
no. But
did he hurt his ankle?
I wonder the same. I wonder the same thing. And
who wants the person sick to come into work that's not working that day? All right, like, think about it. He's not working. If Connor was sick and working, okay. But, like, if you were coming in just to sit down, I'd say, what the hell are you doing here? Go away from me.
Yeah, please stay away.
Like, Schwarber wasn't working.
I really don't understand. The optics of it are terrible.
This is weird.
And, by the way, I love that Kyle is so charitable in the community and doing good work and everything. As my wife says to me yesterday, what would be worse, though, optics? I said, that's really bad optics, that he's out. He couldn't play for 3 nights, and he's out at a charity event, like mixing and mingling with the public.
Which is why if he's hurt, that's a whole different story.
And she says, well, what would be the worst look? Not to show up to your charity event where people paid to be there raising money for your charity. that would be a really bad look also.
Sure.
But I got to think that work is first. Work comes first.
Should.
You know,
With
I
their
think
amount of
it
money.
should.
John?
I think when you're just signed to that contract, I don't know.
Tinfoil cap, speaking of contract, maybe he cut a deal in the negotiations with the Reds. He's like, I'm going to go back to the Phillies for that series we play, you guys.
Yeah, maybe. That's
I'm out.
right. Mopar chimes in. Do you really think the trainers would let him in the dugout if he was, and he did air quotes, sick?
Well, then that's exactly what we're saying.
And that's what I'm trying to figure
then
out.
what the hell is going on then?
So
Then where's
a lot of people pointed out right before the series with the Reds, he had a really awkward slide into third base. Maybe he rolled his ankle.
Then say it.
Say it.
Then say it. There's no reason to be like he's sick.
We can make all the jokes about, what if he had the runs? Well, like,
there's no reason to be saying. There's no reason for subterfuge when it comes to this story. Just say it.
Yeah, the Phillies historically in this era have been very forthcoming with injury information. They're not other teams in this town. We'll just say it that way.
Yeah, I got you.
And Kyle Schwarber's a guy that I've never questioned whether or not he wanted to be out there. So I imagine
nobody's doing that.
I know.
I'm questioning the validity of
just say
illness.
then say what the hell is going on then.
I'm sure we will get an explanation at some point.
I'm sure.
Why wouldn't we have gotten one though? Like what is to be gained?
We'll you dropped the HIPAA again.
I mean, my God, no. There is no such thing as that.
I know.
Don't ask Dak Prescott.
Yeah, I know. All right. The other thing, now this is a much less, like, I can joke about the Schwarber thing, even though I wonder, like, all right, how real are we with this? One thing that you can't joke about is the idiotic decision that Nolan Smith made yesterday.
Over the Friday night.
Friday. It came out late last night.
Yes.
If you're just waking up with us, good morning. You may not have seen the story. When you walked in, I said, John, did you see the Nolan
had not
Smith
seen
article?
the story, so it must have come out while I was sleeping.
I was here 5 o'clock in the morning. 4 o'clock was when I first saw my phone. It said 5 hours ago.
Okay.
So 11 o'clock at night,
so
maybe
I was
close to
asleep.
midnight.
I was out and about, sleeping.
Nolan Smith was back in Georgia.
Yep.
And that's where all the jokes will start. Driving 135 miles per hour in a 70 mile per hour speed limit. Even if it was a 90 mile per hour speed limit, 135 miles per hour. What are you doing, you idiot? Like, I will call you an idiot. Now, look,
How about this? That's idiotic behavior.
Yes, because he's not an idiot. He's actually a really smart person.
He is very, very smart. It's disgraceful. Reckless behavior.
Look,
135?
I'm not going to be high and mighty and say that I'm like an angel behind the wheel, right? Like,
no. I'll tell you, I speed every day.
If speeding put us in hell, I'm going down, baby.
I speed every. I speed every day. Do I speed 25 miles, 30 miles over the speed limit? No, I do not.
135 miles per hour is stupid.
I did look at the map. I know where now. I did not know the counties. By the way, Georgia has more counties than you could ever imagine. So I didn't even know where the counties were. I will tell you this. For some people, it will be, first of all, reading the comments, already the comments section. It's so stupid. People are like, look, these cars these guys are driving, 100 to them is like driving 50 in your car. That's a bunch of crap.
Yeah.
Crap.
It's because it's an Eagles fan that's defending their player. But if a Cowboys player got caught for speeding, it would be LOL, same old Cowboys. Are they going to do anything about this player?
And isn't there a player for the Henry Ruggs?
Yeah.
Who killed somebody?
Yes.
Like, killed somebody.
I don't get
the stupidity. This is stupidity.
So when the Georgia joke thing happens, it's more serious than actually joking around, because now I start calling you literally. I think anybody that drives 135 miles per hour is stupid to begin with. All right, that is a stupid thing to do.
It's idiotic behavior.
But if you have any association with the Georgia Bulldogs over the last 5, 6, 7 years, how dumb can you be?
Oh, it's gone on.
One of your teammates died.
Dude, it's gone on longer than that.
I know, but like,
no, it really has. It's gone longer.
The news cycle. You had a teammate died. You had a teammate kill somebody. Like, what are you guys doing? Stop it. And it's stupid. Well, you did just because people don't. A lot of people just don't understand the racing in the streets. Nobody. The teammate didn't kill somebody. Teammate didn't kill somebody. That was a staff member driving crazy. Well, I'm just saying somebody died. Right, yeah. Exactly. But nobody killed somebody.
So they get that right there. Is that it was a staff member driving crazy that literally drove into a pole, drove into like a tree.
Yeah. I said somebody died. I didn't say.
Yeah, I mean, but like nobody killed. Like it was a reckless driving, and they weren't next to each other. They weren't drag racing. Which is because there's a lot of people with a lot of misinformation about what went on with that case. But Georgia, that problem was going on, Andrew, long before I ever left the South. That was going on from the early to like Mark Richt was the coach of Georgia. Mm-hmm. There has been a problem with in the South for some reason. I have never understood it. I've argued it with the Southerners. They have argued it back with me. There's this whole thing about people driving with suspended licenses, people driving without licenses, and they claim that it is a Southern thing. They claim it's a Southern thing. They make it difficult for these guys to get licenses. They make it difficult. This has been an argument that I would have on Sports Talk Radio. We would do this.
Yeah.
Have this argument. It's reckless. It's stupid. It's ignorant. And the fact that people you could take away someone's family from them.
Well, and that's the crazy thing. Like
that's a big Nolan Smith's not thinking about the family that he could wipe out.
Yeah.
Driving like that.
Like you were very, very stupid for what you did this past Friday night, and now it's. I wonder what the Eagles do about it. He's not gonna get released. All right, he's not gonna get released. This isn't arrest the guy, put the guy behind bars for 100 days. But just like every other human, he should lose his license.
I do think this is something where somebody though should be. I think this is something where somebody should spend a little time.
Sure.
Like sitting and thinking about your
Myles Garrett gets a speeding ticket every other day. But it's Myles Garrett, so It's like, hey, we're going to make a joke about it. It's like Shohei Ohtani with the Ipe. Can't do anything with him.
It's ridiculous.
I wonder if something happens with Nolan Smith. So if you're just waking up, Nolan Smith, 135 miles per hour driving. Stupid. All right, coming up next.
Stupidity.
Do we have a report off brewing, Johnny?
I think we do.
Schefter versus Palmer. Both on the Fanatic yesterday. Different shows, different times. Same story, though. It's Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5, The Fanatic.
The Eagles. Salciunas coming your way now.
All right, we'll check the Davis on a text line here in a moment. We needed a segment to talk about Kyle Schwarber's illness, but still around the team and still having the charity event, which if he had like a tweaked ankle, like nobody's saying boo. It's just, I don't remember the sick guy that you wanted around people. Like, is that real? Is he actually sick?
I'm just tired of all the secrecy crap.
It's the question I'm trying to figure out.
I mean, it's just like too much.
And then Nolan Smith, we needed to pop off on that because Nolan Smith driving 135 miles per hour this past Friday night, getting arrested for it. Idiotic. Just absolutely idiotic. All right, but we've also been talking about the prove-it year for a lot of people on the Philadelphia Eagles. We'll get to that in a moment. But we may have a report off right now.
Seems like we do, right? There's different people with different opinions on this story with the Patriots.
Yeah. So we'll start with Shefty. Adam Schefter on with us every single Wednesday like he was yesterday. And we were talking about all the other reports that kind of popped up out of nowhere. And he squashed it multiple times. Like, no, maybe they kicked the tires, but I don't think this is changing anything. I'm sticking to my guns. A.J. Brown, Patriots, first-round pick 2028. And he believes, and you'll hear it in the story that he tells us, that it's going to happen on June 1st because he has something planned for the second and the third.
I'm sticking to my guns. I've said all along I expect that trade to be on or shortly after June 1st. I don't think anything has changed. Look, I got called this week to do a golf trip with one of my friends. I'm like, when is it? He said, June 2nd. I'm like, So June 2nd and 3rd? He said, yeah. I said, okay, well, I am willing to roll the dice. And I told the guy I'm going to join him and his friends for 2 days of golf on the 2nd and 3rd. So based on what I'm doing, that should tell you that I expect it to be earlier rather than later.
So
that is, if that's not all I need to hear, it's almost all I need to hear.
Yeah, it's good. Learn how to speak Shefty. Shefty's letting you know
he's already planned.
He would not miss work for big news like that.
Correct. The story that's been going on forever.
There's been two big stories since the season ended. A.J. Brown and the Rossini-Vrabel thing. All right?
Yes, and nobody's talking about that one.
But he's not breaking anything on that one. He's going to be the one breaking the A.J. Brown story, and he's basically making it clear, I'm not going to miss work if I'm breaking that story on June 2nd or June 3rd. It looks like the story is going to break June 1st, but
it looks like he has the story already in his back pocket.
Right. But yesterday, we played audio during the show from James Palmer, who covers the NFL. James does a really good job, and that was sort of what led to that interview with Shefty. Like, hey, this guy's hearing this guy's hearing that, this guy's hearing that it might get delayed. James Palmer then, credit to Middays with Marks, they said, all right, let's get this guy on because he joins them pretty frequently. James Palmer talking about how June 1st might not be the date.
I don't know if it's that far along. I almost feel like it's going to start back up. You know what I mean? Like it's almost could be a new negotiation when June 1st rolls around. And I respect what Jeremy does for sure. But, my good buddy, one of my best friends in this business, Mike Garafolo, was on Rich Eisen's show yesterday. And Mike made a great point when he brought up going, there's been nobody even behind the scenes. He's like, unless everybody's lying to me that has said, no, like this deal's done. Like it's not done, but it's done. You know what I mean? Like that's not even being said to anybody unless, they're fully lying and everybody's lying. You cannot have anything really put in place. I mean, you can have a wink and a nod, you can have a handshake, I guess, but at the same time, I'm not sure if I said this on here with you guys, like Max Crosby is not playing for the Ravens. You know what I mean? A deal isn't done until a deal is done.
I listened to James say that, and by the way, I really like his work. I listened to him say that, and I laughed. I honestly laughed.
All right. Why is that?
You can't have a deal done. Okay? You mean you can't have a deal done on paper?
Right.
Howie Roseman can absolutely have a deal done. I want a first and a conditional third or fourth. Oh, no, over the phone we could do that.
We just shook hands.
I want a first and a conditional fourth that can become a third, depending on what AJ does. You're going to give me your 2028 first. You're going to give me a 2027 fourth-round pick that can become a third, depending on what AJ does. Are you all right with that, Andrew?
Yes, deal. We just shook hands.
Okay, good. Nobody's recording this conversation. We will consume. This is the deal we're going to do on June 1st.
By the way,
you don't have to have it on paper. It doesn't have to be this absolutely. And by the way, in my old life, I did different work. deals like this happen all the time in all lines of work.
By the way, this is the league year. Like this isn't this isn't illegal
You
tampering.
can have these kind of conversations go on all the time about all kinds of things in all lines of work. Absolutely, you can do that.
Yeah, the Eagles could trade A.J. Brown in 5 minutes.
They could. Like, they very well. Howie Roseman could say, "Screw it, I want the $40 million dead cap hit. I'm going to trade him."
He's
now.
already. But the idea that they don't have a deal. Yes, Adam Schefter has double talked that with me multiple times, and I've called him on it every time on the interview, and then he's had to backtrack on it. Where I've said, "Okay, now you're using," and I've said to him, "You're using semantics on me." Okay, they don't have a deal yet, but they could have the parameters of a deal. Well, yeah, but no deal is official, he says. I've backed Adam into a corner. Is any deal? No, of course no deal is official, but they can have a deal in place. It's like the deal can already be done, and I do believe the deal is already done.
All right, well, we'll find out in a
I'm
couple
anxious
days.
to see it, though.
Connor, what do we have on the text line? Davis on the text line. Feel the Davis difference. Check him out in Burlington. Our question is, well, earlier this week we talked about the Eagles setting up what seems to be a quiet, prove-it year for Jalen Hurts. Well, can you say the same about Nick Sirianni? Can you say the same about, 2/5 of your offensive line from a health standpoint? Can you say the same thing about your safety position? Can you say the same? Do you have more questions than answers right now when it comes to the Eagles? What do we got?
Jim from Souderton checks in. He says, I agree with John on his assessment of Nick. However, I think he is way off base and not seeing the parallels with Jalen. It's about performance now and in the future, not the resume. Plus, he did get benched at Alabama, right?
Yeah, he did get benched at Alabama in the championship game. He did get benched at halftime of the championship game. I was right there. I was right there for it. He did. He also then was came in the next year, stayed to complete his degree, was the backup, then had to come in the same exact situation.
Yeah, right.
Led Alabama to the SEC championship, then went to Oklahoma, led them to a Big 12 championship and to the college football playoff. The fact is, Jalen Hurts' resume and reputation in football is secured long before he ever met Nick Sirianni. Nobody even knew who Nick Sirianni was. The day he was announced that he was interviewing for the Eagles job, any member of the Philadelphia media that told you that they knew of him or knew him is a complete line of BS. Nobody knew who he even was. It was, oh my gosh,
Well, they may have
who's
been
this
big,
guy?
They may have been
Who's this
big
guy?
Mount Union fans, dude.
They're like, who is this guy?
I don't know. Is Mount Union a very successful D3 program?
They have almost fired Nick Sirianni twice. And by the way, it's public record that they've almost fired him twice.
Coming up next, more. That's just fake media.
more of that.
On this discussion about the pendulum swing right now with the Eagles franchise. Are we reaching prove-it years for a lot of people? Do you have more questions than answers right now when it comes to the Eagles? 610-632-0975, the number to climb in. But also, we've gone about an hour, which is about the same amount of time it took Aaron Nola to allow 4 runs on 8 hits.
Oh, boy.
And we have not really talked about his outing yesterday.
Gosh.
Is there anything the team can do? We'll discuss that next. Kincade Salciunas, 97.5, The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Bills dropped the series to Cincy. I'm Connor Thomas, and the Phillies lost their first series under interim manager Don Mattingly yesterday, falling 9-4 to the Reds in the series finale. Aaron Nola had another rough start on the mound, allowing 8 hits and 4 runs in 5 innings worth of work. Don Mattingly talked after the game about the struggles so far this season from Nola.
You know, we've talked about a lot of things. We've talked about him pitching backwards, doing different things. Each team kind of presents their own set of challenges, so I can't say it's one thing.
It certainly hasn't looked like one thing. It seemed like a lot of problems so far for Nola this season. We'll see if they can figure it out as the season goes forward. They're off today. They'll welcome the Guardians to Citizens Bank Park for a 3-game series starting tomorrow. The Sixers are still searching for their next president of basketball operations, but they found a stud rookie in VJ Edgecombe, who was named to the NBA All-Rookie First Team yesterday. And some concerning news for the Eagles broke last night as it was reported that edge rusher Nolan Smith was arrested Friday accused of speeding and reckless driving. No word on any discipline handed down from the league or the Eagles. They'll start team off-season activities on Tuesday. Andrew Deco will join us coming up from the 8 o'clock hour till the end of the show. Anthony Sanfilippo of On Pattison joins us at 9:05 to talk Phils, Aaron Nola, and the latest on Kyle Schwarber, who missed 3 games in that series. I'm Connor Thomas for the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and Union, 97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic app.
Sean Connor, Kincade Salciunas, Philly Sports Talk, 97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic app.
7 a.m. Johnny and I were just talking about like how people just can't tell when things are real or fake on social media. Like, it's the funniest thing to me. Like, I don't know how you don't, A, realize it. That's fine if you don't realize it right away. Or
no, not realizing it right away is one thing.
So then you quickly Google. Like, it takes 5 seconds. And we were
is this trade real?
I was telling him a story. My dad, the amount of times, I love you, Daddy, the amount of times my dad is, when I'm with him or he calls me, oh, I saw on Facebook that, Bryce Harper, they might trade him. And I'm like, Dad, that's not real. Well, yeah, but I read it, and I go, dude, if there's anybody that you're just going to have to respect the opinion of or the knowledge of.
Well, he does listen to this show, so there is a reason why he doubts some things.
I would hope the guy that does sports talk radio for a living in Philadelphia. Look, you want to tell me there was a random trade report about a Sacramento King?
Yeah,
All
that's different.
Let's talk about it. No, man, Bryce Harper's not getting traded.
Yeah, but dude, you should see the number of texts I get from people our age, my buddies, that are like, when is this happening?
Is this
like,
real?
That's
it's like,
not
man.
real.
Connor, I go, here's my rule. And I've said it to my brother before, I've said it to other people before. If the sentence begins with, I saw it on Facebook,
Yeah, it's only.
that's where you go to yourself, oh, wait a minute. That's probably, wait a minute, it's probably AI or it's something else.
Yeah, X or Instagram, the same. This is why I never took as much umbrage with the people who believe the A.J. Brown conversation is fake. Because
how long did they think it, though?
That's the thing, though. We're in this industry. We know how this stuff works daily and behind the scenes.
No. People were disagreeing with credible reporters.
I get it. And the reason they're doing that is because there's so much. People don't know who the credible reporters are necessarily. We do. We talk to them.
No. People were acting as if Adam Schefter was Adam Sniffer.
Yes, because people have gotten in the past on Adam Schefter with a single letter change.
People were hearing Adam on our show and accusing him of
AI.
That's not real Adam Schefter.
You guys better get used to this because this is only getting worse with fake stuff, and people are going to not believe anything.
He's making these stories up. Adam Schefter's making it up. The whole line was, we haven't heard anything from AJ. AJ hasn't said a word. These people are just lying. AJ will be back next year. Now, June 1st, when the checks are written, now my boys, the Philly Dogs.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
They'll be getting that charity money together, which is, and guess what, by the way, they've already said they will be stepping up to the plate because they're good people.
That's good work.
Now, they got to keep an eye on these Philly Dogs, though, on the road.
Yeah,
keep an eye on
Nolan Smith. All right, we'll get more into our Eagles discussion here momentarily. We'll check the Davis Honda text line, see what the people are saying this morning. But real quick, man. Well, maybe not real quick. I don't know how long this conversation is going to go because I don't know if we have an answer. What the hell do the Phillies do with Aaron Nola?
It's a disgrace. Well, first off, the contract was a disgrace.
Yeah.
Second of all, there's nothing that they can do to just right now just say you can't get rid of him. No one would ever take him. But you don't have to keep trotting him out there.
I remember when the contract talks were happening, and Connor, I've never really been the biggest Nola guy. You and I have butted heads over this for years. I've never been the biggest Nola guy, but at the time, he pitched very well in the playoffs, and I'm going, all right, I'll bring him back. But then I saw 7 years. I'm like, oh, 7 years for a guy that doesn't have that much life on the arm. Like
they got duped. It's
a little concerning, and man. Is it getting almost worse by the start? So yesterday, he gets out of the first inning, and then the Phillies give him run support. 1-0. You're going, oh, man, here we go. They get the rubber match of the series. Can they win it? And then Nola just has an implosion in the second inning, gives up 3 runs in the second. His line on the day, 5 hits, 4 earned runs. 5 innings pitched, 8 hits, 4 earned runs. And the scary thing is, he wasn't even giving up home runs. It was just they tee off on him.
He's not a major league pitcher anymore.
It's really, really bad.
It's terrible.
He's allowed 13 earned runs over his last 3 starts. His last 3 starts have totaled 13 innings. He's averaging a run an inning.
He's not competitive. He doesn't give his team a chance to win. And more importantly, it's got to be so disappointing now to his teammates. that, he takes the mound and they realize they don't have a chance.
And you just said what I said about Taijuan Walker in 2024?
2024.
2024, Taijuan Walker
He
had
didn't
the
give him a chance
season
to win.
where he had an ERA of 7. And I remember a couple of times you and I would do the show, and it was like you would get upset that they looked dead out there in like the second or third inning.
Yeah.
I'd say, well, can you blame them? Like,
no, I can't blame you because I know what you make in your paycheck, and
yeah,
you
I got
absolutely
you.
can. I hate that
It's 4-0
excuse.
after the second
I
inning.
understand.
It's like, all right.
No, I understand, but it's easy to understand the frustration. You can be frustrated. There's a lot of things that can frustrate you about your work, but I absolutely would expect you to be a professional and come to work and give your best. You can do your best. Nobody's keeping you from doing your best.
Well, Aaron Nola has become the Doc Rivers scheduled loss right now.
He's terrible.
It's just that. I mean, he had the great outing against the Marlins, 6 shutout innings. I gave you the 13 earned runs over the last 3 starts. Before that 0-run performance against the Marlins, 6 earned, 5 earned, 3 earned in 5, 3 earned in 6. So I'm going back to April 8th when he had a quality start.
It's so incredible.
2 quality starts since April 8th, John. And quality start is not like great.
No, they got to do something about it. And I was going through because Nerd Boy was a little pissed yesterday watching that outing, as you can imagine. So I just started to go through and I said, how many guys, because I talked to an ex-Philly who broadcasts and was along the lines of, am I out of line to be like the Phillies baby these pitchers? And he said, no, you're not out of line. But let's look at what other organizations do compared to the Phillies. The Phillies do baby pitchers.
Oh, they absolutely
like they have a babyish approach to pitchers. This has to be a change in philosophy. And I was assured, by the way, that when Preston Mattingly takes over, that won't be the
case.
Philosophy.
Yeah.
That's an old school. It's an old school philosophy that the man in charge embodies, that he believes in, that they got to take the training wheels off. Like if there's a guy like now, like a Gage Wood down the line, can a Gage Wood be ready? He's still a young guy. He's like, any guy who has pitched in the College World Series could pitch in the major leagues. Bottom line, any guy can.
I don't think that's true.
He is a top draft pick.
Fine. How about
He is
anybody
a top
that was
draft. How about a top
successful?
draft pick? A top draft pick can pitch in the college that is pitched in the College World Series can absolutely be on a major league roster and pitch. He has been a top draft pick. He is a player that absolutely could pitch in the major leagues. And by the way, he could give you anything. He could, if you want to get knocked around, he could give you what Aaron Nola gave you.
So
the idea that you have to worry about their psyches was what I was questioning.
Yeah, just last night, I texted you guys earlier in the day. I was really upset that I thought something was not going to happen. I'm a Seamhead, so I know that there's like Western Conference Finals going on and all that. But I watched Jays Yankees because what else are you doing on a Wednesday night?
Well, the Phillies weren't on. That's fine.
Trey Savage versus Cam Schlittler of the Yankees.
By the way, Schlittler,
yes,
is like a must-see TV type of thing.
He is 25 years old. He's in his second season. He was drafted in 2022. They waited 3 years to call him up. Trey Savage, even different. He was drafted in 2024. He was pitching in the major leagues last year.
He was pitching in Game 7 of the World
Series game.
I mean, like it's ridiculous the babying the idea of the two is. But the issue that I took was yesterday with the idea is, guys are going to come up here and get hurt. And we got a text during the show yesterday from a ex-major leaguer that was listening going, you cannot say that a player is going to come up here and get hurt. If you say you're going to bring them up here and have them throw 7-8 innings, absolutely you could say, hey, don't make their arms fall off when they come up here. But there's no science, there's nothing to say that a young player coming up here is going to be, first of all, psychologically damaged, or that their career is going to be ruined because you bring them up too early.
I think this conversation is crazy, what we're talking about right now. Because this is an organization for half a decade that has put together one of the clear top rotations in baseball. Clearly, what they are doing with starting pitching is working. I think this is nitpicking at something that they have been incredibly successful at.
Hold on one
compared to their
second.
peers.
Hold on one second. Hold on. Zach Wheeler, proven free agent signing.
Okay.
Jesus Luzardo, free agent signing.
Yes.
Sanchez, yes.
Yes.
A trade, not developed. Not developed.
Oh, yeah, that's
traded.
Right. Yeah, he's developed into
No,
something.
but I mean, you got him. You acquired him from somebody else.
Yeah.
So they have not. They did not. This organization has not.
Suarez is like the one guy you're talking about, and he's not here anymore.
Your point is that you'd rather have a homegrown pitcher who's good than a free agent pitcher who's good. Like, who cares where they come from? They have a great rotation. They've done that consistently for half a decade.
So then what do you do with Aaron Nola?
So here's your three options. These are the realistic ones because he's not getting traded. He's got a no-trade clause. He's not getting released because they're not paying that money. You do one of three things. You bear down, you pitch through it. I think that's stupid. You skip a start, you go bullpen, you give him like a week to just kind of sit there and say, do not think about baseball, and see if it fixes him. Or you do the phantom injured list. Those are your three options.
You did that last year, though.
Right.
It didn't work.
Those are your only three options.
You did the phantom injury list for 2.5 months last year. It didn't work.
Then you're skipping a start. You're throwing a bullpen game against the Padres, and then you try him again after that. Those are your options, boys.
Watch, he's gonna deal against the Padres.
He might.
He'll go 6 1/3.
Probably won't, but
one earned.
No, but he'll have that game that makes you go. He's got it figured out.
He's golf. He is my golf game. All right? You have the one good shot in 18 holes, and you go, I want to do this again. I want to spend $60, be outside miserable for 3 hours and 59 minutes, but that 1 minute, that's a high that I want to experience.
Does that drag you back in?
Aaron Nola's my golf game.
Aaron Nola's a mess, and Aaron Nola's killing this team. He's killing the team.
It's been a rough year for Mr. Nola. 6.04 ERA now on the season.
I think I'm going
from last year's 6.01.
I think I'm going to be safe on my bet with Connor. I think I'm going to be quite safe.
What was the number 4?
4.25.
Oh, God. Ew.
I think I'm going to be safe.
What do you mean think? The guy can't pitch.
No, I mean, he's terrible. And more importantly is...
Hey, he's 2-4 on the season, man.
He's horrendous.
Two of those games he gave up like 5.
He's horrendous.
No, dude, you have no other options than those three I presented you with. Take your pick.
The idea of but more to the other point is the organization needs to be young arms need to be allowed to run free, and hopefully we will see a Gage Wood be in a situation where he gets an opportunity to come up here, and even if it's like a piggyback start type of thing, like we saw a Falter come up, where they asked him to say, come up, give us 4 innings. Give us 4 as they bring him up to the major leagues. That's what they wanted. Sanchez was a 4 too, wasn't he? Wasn't he like 4 innings they wanted out of him, like in the beginning? Like they used
he
him
was
for?
A swing guy.
But I mean, like when they used to do the piggyback starts, though, the Falter, the Syndergaard, all them. But they used to try to get them. If they got through the line a few times, that's how you want to. But let's not wait.
This is also an organization that I saw call up Mick Abel before some people thought he was ready last year. They end up flipping him for an all-MLB closer. They brought a Ryan Kerkering from A-ball to pitching in the NLCS in the same season.
Out of complete necessity because they had no other move to make.
No, not out of complete necessity. That bullpen, you had Craig Kimbrell as the closer who they believed in. I know he wasn't good in that postseason, but Rob Thompson loved the guys they had in the bullpen. He forced his way to the majors, and they rewarded him. I think it's unfair to say the Phillies have not called guys up fast enough lately, especially when they're getting results at the major league level at this position.
We're more talking starters. So the starters, again, this organization, we talk about how they can't develop outfielders. Yeah. They can't develop starting pitching.
Where's the spot where you want these guys?
Well, that's the reason they have to go buy them, Connor, is because they can't develop them.
Yeah, like, look.
The reason you have to go buy at a premium price, which sucks to go pay the premium price, is because, and by the way, you're paying premium prices to guys that are you're overpaying for them.
All right, so you said pitch through it is stupid, which I agree with you because he stinks. Let's say they do the week or 2 weeks.
The phantom stuff?
And he comes back and he's 5 earned, 6 earned. You can't go bullpen game every 5th day.
No.
So...
Even though they did, Joe Girardi did that for 2 seasons.
Yeah, that went well.
Well, that guy stunk.
No, I mean, but he managed to. He squeezed a lot of juice out of that lemon.
Oh,
of the bullpen.
All right, we don't have to do that conversation.
I got you.
What do? Because you can either Call somebody out. And look, it can't be these AAA guys that are gas cans. Like they do
No,
that.
it can't be those.
They do that every year where a couple spot starts with this guy, and they ultimately stink. And they're like Otto Kemp and Felix Reyes, who goes right back
Ricochet
down,
shot, not
goes right back down to AAA and hits 2 home runs because that's the kind of pitching that they can
Because they're
hit.
quad A players.
So then the next option is you trade for somebody, but we're months away from that because you're not going to overpay in what will end up being June if you do the 2-week off thing. You're not going to overpay for a 5th starter in June.
Yeah, or the other option, and I don't know how this would work, but we've come to drastic measures, is you move Aaron Nola to the bullpen.
Yeah, but then who's going in?
Then you just do the rotating door of see if a guy gets hot. Like Alan Rangel, you're up.
When was it? When was the Tyler Stevenson year? Where Stevenson started?
Stevenson was 2 years ago.
2 years ago. Like they trotted out like.
You mean Tyler Phillips?
Yeah, sorry, Tyler
Phillips. It was 2 years ago.
They
and,
tried out like 5 different guys.
And he didn't he have a one-hitter the one night?
Yeah,
one
against
Saturday
the
night.
Dodgers.
One Saturday night, he had a one-hitter.
He had like almost a complete game shutout against the Dodgers.
It was awesome.
But then his book was out on him like 2 or 3 starts later. So, where's Spencer Turnbull out? Is he?
Yeah,
is he available?
We're having a smart conversation here. You don't need us to tell you that this is a bad spot the Phillies are in and there are not good options. But these are the options you have. Yeah. Sometimes you get stuck, and they're stuck right now.
Pretty bad options.
It's bad, man.
What do we have on the Davis on the text line? Feel the Davis difference. Our question about the Eagles. Are we at sort of a pendulum swing type moment with the Eagles? We talked about the Eagles quietly having a prove-it year for Jalen Hurts. The same could be said about Nick Sirianni. The same could be said about some of the offensive linemen. The same could be said, totally different level, about Devontae Smith. Is he ready to be the guy? I think that he is. Is he ready to be the guy with A.J. Brown being traded? The same can be said about the safety position.
You guys are all very confident
I'm very
in that.
confident
You're
in
more
Devontae
confident
Smith.
in that than I am.
Yes.
Even though I do believe that Devontae, if you told me right now, can I pencil him in for 1,200? Yes.
Yeah, I think he can.
Right.
I think he can be a number 1 guy, and I'm excited to watch it happen. What do we got on the text line?
All right, so we have a check-in on the conversation surrounding Jalen Hurts that we were having earlier with this. And this texter says Hurts is the same way as Sirianni, propped up by a running game, not necessarily a coaching staff. Look into games, they look to him to pass. Dude fell on his face. Prove it now.
Really?
I mean,
interesting.
I don't think that's completely
in
off.
2024.
When they needed him to pass, it's almost like I can remember really, really big games where the Eagles needed him to pass, and Jalen Hurts was almost like spectacular. It's almost like the 3 biggest games of his career when the Eagles needed him to pass, and Jalen Hurts was like spectacular. Maybe, well, no. I must be wrong. I got to be wrong. I must be misremembering that.
But John, you got to get to those games.
Who got them to those games?
The offensive line.
Come on, no.
Saquon.
Saquon Barkley was an absolute freaking star, but you're acting like they dragged Jalen Hurts along and that he was horrible. Jalen Hurts was not.
And
this is revisionist
like he
history.
Dragged them.
No, but no, I didn't. I am not.
That's
I've never
what it
said
seems
that.
like.
No, it's not. It's revisionist history. That is completely revisionist
I think the
history.
point the texter is making is you can say the exact same thing. You said earlier, Nick Sirianni needs good coordinators, right?
Nick Sirianni cannot fix anything. He's me in my house. If something breaks in my house, I have to call somebody. I'm not going to, you go to YouTube.
Yeah.
My wife will even go try something at YouTube. I will say, why am I doing that? I'm going to get somebody who's a professional to fix it. I'm Nick Sirianni needs somebody to do that for him.
Well, and people will make the point that Jalen Hurts has benefited from having the supporting cast that he has had. And now this year, the reason why I believe the Eagles are doing a quiet prove-it year is they clearly want to go in a certain direction with the offense. So
I think that's fair.
We'll see. Can Jalen Hurts handle this offense? They're not going to have A.J. Brown.
No.
Now, they drafted a first-round wide receiver, so let's not act like they didn't give him
I think the passing,
another new toy.
And I'm going to be the only person who will check back on this. I am the only person who will tell you right now I think the passing offense is going to be exponentially better without him. Exponentially better without him. Cut it, save it, and you can have it.
And then we get to have the debate, was it because of AJ or was it because of Patullo?
No. That's going to be, whoa. That's a big reason why I'm saying it.
Because I think it's more Patullo than AJ.
That's a big reason why I'm saying it. But I also believe that when everybody's rowing the boat in the same direction, it's a hell of a lot easier to be successful in any line of work. When everybody is all on the same page, it is much easier for any organization in any line of work to be successful. And last year, they did not have everybody, they had guys who were quitting because they were upset personally about how things were going. If I quit on my job every time I was upset about something that management did in my career and said, well, I'm not going to give my best. I'm not going to do my best today. It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And people defending it, I can't imagine.
Coming up next, more on the Eagles as we're getting closer and closer to June 1st. John, you sent a topic, more so a voice memo, from Middays with Marks yesterday.
Oh.
What you don't know is that I finally had the moment where I got angry about this whole A.J. Brown thing yesterday at my house by myself.
Really?
Yeah, I just finally.
It just is coincidentally.
I'm fed up with it. You will hear this voice memo because apparently people are still okay with everything. It's Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5, The Fanatic.
Going to tell you right now that if you're not feeling well, go to the doctor. Always tell you that. Go to the doctor. If you get a feeling that something's wrong, the doctor will tell you what it is. If there's a cancer diagnosis, go to the consultants in medical oncology and hematology. I realize you're going to shop around. With a cancer diagnosis, you should at least get a second opinion. But I want them to be your first opinion. Because I tell you, if you put the consultants in medical oncology up against anybody, you're going to find out what I already know, that they are the best. An independent practice that is going to take care of you, and they're going to quarterback your entire care from beginning to end. They're absolutely amazing. And because they're independent, they can work across multiple healthcare systems, so you're not stuck within one tree of medical providers to choose from. So you can choose the best doctor from here, the best nursing care from here, whatever it is. They have 3 different locations, too, with free parking, easy access, no elevators or garages to deal with. So literally you can get dropped off at the front door, walk right in, no navigating. And I can tell you as a cancer patient that definitely will help you out. They are the best. Dr. John Sprandio Jr. saved my life. Him and his entire team. They brought me back to life. They gave me my life back. I want you to have that same blessing. So, should a cancer diagnosis come into your life, check out the consultants in medical oncology and hematology. Visit CMOH.org and take the first step towards peace of mind.
Now, on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Bills lose a second straight. I'm Connor Thomas, and the Phillies lost their first series under interim manager Don Mattingly yesterday, falling 9-4 to the Reds, their second straight loss. Aaron Nola was another rough start for him. Who knows how many in a row that is. He allowed 8 hits and 4 runs in 5 innings. He talked about the rough start to his year and the issues he's facing after the game.
We talked about a lot of things. We talked about him pitching backwards, doing different things. Each team kind of presents their own set of challenges, so I can't say it's one thing.
That was actually Don Mattingly talking about it, but the sentiment was the same. He's struggling right now. The Phils, well, they're off today. They have a chance to regroup as they'll welcome the Guardians to Citizens Bank Park for a 3-game series starting tomorrow. The Sixers are still looking for their next president of basketball operations after parting ways with Daryl Morey, but we know they found a stud in their young rookie. VJ Edgecombe was named to the NBA All-Rookie First Team yesterday after his stellar season. And some concerning news for the Eagles yesterday. It was reported that edge rusher Nolan Smith was arrested Friday, accused of speeding and reckless driving. No word on any discipline handed down from the league or the Eagles. They'll start team off-season activity on Tuesday, so we'll see if there's any repercussions of that situation. Andrew Deco joins us coming up from the 8 o'clock hour to the end of the show. Anthony Sanfilippo of Vaughn Pattison will join us at 9:05 to talk about the Phillies. I'm Connor Thomas for the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and Union, 97.5 The Fanatic and the
97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic app.
7 a.m. hours brought to you by the BetParks online casino and sportsbook app. Live bet sports on the BetParks app. Play all your favorite casino games. There's always another way to win on the BetParks online casino and sportsbook. Got to be 21 in Pennsylvania, Jersey, or Maryland. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
All right, 7:31 here on Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic. I have to give a special thank you to one John Kincade. Ooh, meteorologist John Kincade. So yesterday,
that was crazy.
The storms that hit the area that plummeted the temperature 30 degrees, by the way, which is
it went down like 28 at our house. It was nasty.
Nuts. So John sends us a video to our show group chat that has Sean the Furry in it and Austin in it. And love you, Sean.
It was like Wizard of Oz was going on at our house. It was
nuts. Like the wind and the rain. It's raining sideways, and you're going, I'm firing up the grill.
And you saw the crazy part was we got the stone patio, got the street behind us on the back street, which is way back. The smoke that was coming up from this storm
because of the heat,
it looked like the fog, like we were in London.
It was like you had the fog bowl in your own backyard.
It looked like there was a fog bowl because the heat came. It was so intense.
And I'm sitting there going, oh, my God, it's skewer night. I had everything marinated.
And I told you, get after it.
I had everything on, on the sticks. I was ready to throw on the grill. And then I see this video. I'm like, wait, what? I was going to wait like an hour before. I wasn't hungry yet. And John's like, no, you should do this now. The second I clean off the grill.
You saw it start to blow in. Yeah.
No. The second I cleaned off the grill, it started pouring. And if I had waited like 20 minutes, 10 minutes, I would have been caught in it while still grilling. I was actively grilling when like the black clouds were coming in over my house.
We had hail, pelting. I mean, it was crazy.
It was nuts.
It was crazy. So be careful. But that's what you get when it goes from. And now this morning it was, 30 degrees less or something?
I'm in sweatpants and a sweatshirt today. Yesterday I walked outside and I started sweating. Now
2026 weather has broken me.
It's crazy. All right. Speaking of what's broken, people, is this A.J. Brown situation. We are all silly right now.
We're punch drunk by it, right?
You said it a while ago, and you're so spot on. And like I have to look myself in the mirror and ask what the hell's wrong with me. You were like, since when in Philadelphia have we excused bad attitude? And lack of effort. Like, all right, bad attitude aside, like legitimate lack of effort that was pointed out by Kincade and Salciunas and ridiculed for. But then Jason Kelce says, and it's like, oh, my God, this must be real.
Oh, so it must be real. Like Jason Kelce, legend of the organization, says it.
Yeah, so A.J. Brown, like, literally quit last year.
He quit. He did. Various games.
And I finally had the anger moment yesterday. Like, it took me a while. Like, this guy does not care about the Philadelphia Eagles. He cares about A.J. Brown. And
I'm glad. Newsflash.
And the funny thing is, some people excused it. Kurt Warner, who we love having on, right? We have him on like probably twice a year.
Love Kurt.
And the last time we had Kurt on, we asked him about the A.J. Brown. I straight up asked him, like, hey, you were the quarterback of the greatest show on turf. Like, how hard was that for you to make sure that Torrey Holt got his and Isaac Bruce got his, right? And Marshall Faulk got his? Like, how did you make sure everybody was happy?
Right.
And then he went on this like 2-minute answer of, listen, A.J. Brown's a competitor. I don't blame him at all. I want him to have that fire. But later we found out that the fire was like harmful.
Yes.
It was third-degree burns.
It was harmful.
It was bad. Like, this fire was detrimental to the Eagles. And yet yesterday, you're listening to Middays with Marks. Why wouldn't you? Great show.
Love Middays with Marks.
And a voice memo comes in. It's our man Xavier from Newtown, who we really love. Xavier won Sixers tickets with us for the play-in tournament. Like, I love Xavier.
I loved him till yesterday when I was hearing this, and now I just really like Xavier.
Here's the voice memo from Xavier yesterday.
Good morning, you guys. Xavier from Newtown Square. Just want to talk about the A.J. Brown thing real quick. Listen, I do think that he's going to get traded to New England. I think the Eagles are going to do, what's right for him and kind of do what he wants. He has done everything that you're supposed to do and supposed to say during this process and has not, said a bad thing or done anything to tarnish the value. Listen, at the end of the day, I don't think, the relationship or, is tarnished between him and the Eagles organization and the people. I think that a lot of the teammates, do love him, but when you're a quarterback and your receiver don't have the best relationship, or maybe they did have a best relationship and it sours a little bit, you see the disconnect there, and that trickles over to the whole team. When two of your leaders are in a little feud, it kind of just trickles down and sets the mood for the rest of your team. So something that we had to do, don't want to do, but we got to do.
I was on Route 3 at the time. I was driving down Westchester Pike, and I almost took it into the guardrail. I was so pissed off hearing this. What A.J. Brown, the Eagles are going to do what's right by him. A.J., he's done everything you're supposed to do. What kind of revisionist history class are we in?
I guess he meant more so that he's been quiet during this process, and it's not like him going on social media and plummeting his trade value.
Well, he's already done that part of it.
Yeah.
He already did that part.
Guys, A.J. Brown screwed over the Philadelphia Eagles. Like, let's be honest. Like, he gave up on routes. He quit in games.
The team was 4-0, and he was pissed off.
He became a problem, and we really did excuse it. Connor, you and I, not John, we excused it a lot. So much so that I was saying, look, I would still bring him back, hoping that things work out. Man, they won a freaking Super Bowl, and he wasn't happy. Like, and it really is crazy. Somebody posted a photo online yesterday because people are starting to see all these signs now. Like, oh man, the signs are there. There was a photo of A.J. Brown holding the Lombardi Trophy, and he looked miserable. Like, why are you miserable holding the Lombardi Trophy? You should have a smile from ear to ear.
Because the stat sheet wasn't what he wanted it to be. I remember the day. We were reading the quotes from A.J. Brown about the Super Bowl, and Connor was arguing with me.
No, I was too.
Going, oh, you're reading too much into these quotes.
I thought the quote was more so, I'm hungry for more. Like, I want another one. Like, that was great. Celebrate it. Now I want more.
No, that wasn't what it was.
Because that's what Jalen was also saying, right? Jalen had that same mindset. I was like, all right, let's go.
No, that's Jalen's mindset because Jalen is that. This is A.J. Brown who ran away from competition at college, took the easier path at college, went away from where he's going to have to battle for playing in the best programs. He hid from that. Jalen runs towards it. He runs from it. That's the difference. Competitor versus what's the easier path. And I want mine, and I want the center of attention. That's what he wanted. That's what A.J. Brown's about. Yeah, and I'm so tired of hearing about the Eagles are going to do what's right by him. Screw that. I am so tired. Why do I care?
This
people sound like jilted. People sound like the guy the guy or the girl whose lover cheats on them, but they just keep waiting around for them to come back.
Yeah, let's not spin it. This isn't a mutual breakup. Like, the Eagles, do you think the Philadelphia Eagles would want to trade A.J. Brown?
No.
Like, if, let's say there was no drama.
No.
None, right? Like, A.J. Brown, clean as a whistle.
No.
Would they want to trade A.J. Brown?
No.
This is not a clean breakup. This is one-sided. One guy wants something, and look, you can blame whoever you want to blame. Patullo, Sirianni, Hurts, whatever you want to do. Too many people on the field. Devontae, Saquon, Dallas got not in a bad way, but like,
I got you.
The ball can only go to so many people so many times. You can blame whatever it is that you want. Fact is, he wants out because he's not happy with the situation that I would imagine a lot of former players and some current players would kill to be in.
Yeah, but I get why people are on AJ's side. I do. Like, fans are on AJ's side. You just have to look at the history of the Philadelphia Eagles. You have to look at the history of that position. Like,
so then why are we okay with him? You're saying they're on his side. Like,
why would they be on his side? He quit on you.
He's leaving. I would want him to stay more because of what you're saying. Like, the history of the Eagles wide receivers it makes me almost more angry that he's leaving because I don't want to get back to that.
I know, but for some fans, they just see the talent and what he's given us and this 4-year stretch. I would take over any 4-year stretch of any wide receiver in franchise history.
That's fair, but he quit on you.
But I'm telling you right now, when this happens, when it happens, my immediate reaction, it will take some time. I'll be completely honest with you guys. You can call me unfair if you want. It's going to take me some time to do the whole, hey, I respect what he did around here. I'm going to be pissed first.
Yeah, I'm going to be pissed first.
Do I respect what he did here? Absolutely.
Yes.
Like, duh. Like, I respect what he did here. But it's going to take me a while to do the whole, man, it was great having him here. I'm going to be pissed off first.
I'll do it today because I just to sort of rip the Band-Aid off. Tell me who wants it in our audience. Tell me why you want it. Email me. Reach out. You can have it.
That's YouTube can see it. The audience.
It's the A.J. Brown jersey.
John Kincade is giving away his
A.J. Brown black jersey. He doesn't want to be here. I have no interest in having it.
Now, I told him to keep it because of Hollywood Brown. Just change the number. Do the duct tape thing. Over
yeah,
the
not
number.
doing that. That I have no interest in the jersey. I have about as much interest in the jersey as AJ had in running routes effectively last year.
Well, that's some
I have no interest. None.
Not as much as you should have.
None. Yeah. I can't understand. And it is, again, this is the difference when I talk about the difference between the modern fan and the old school fan. This would have been an old school Philly fan would never have celebrated a guy that quit.
Guess what? An old school
Never.
Philly fan didn't win crap.
Okay.
So I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm saying winning Super Bowls changes the mentality of how you view the players that help to win those Super Bowls. You get away with more. Like, talent to some people outweighs character. And I'm not saying, like, A.J. Brown's a bad guy and, like, his character stinks. And
I got you.
But talent to some people, and I'm one of these people, will outweigh character.
But he doesn't want to be here, and he quit on you.
I understand.
Like, how do you rationalize quitting in the middle of games?
I've seen players way worse than A.J. Brown quit.
But how do you want them back? How do you, like, celebrate them?
Because he's good.
Yeah, but you know what?
But he quit on you.
2034? I'll give him a standing ovation at the 10-year ring ceremony anniversary. I would do the same thing for Wentz.
Absolutely.
I would.
I still have my Wentz jersey.
But right now, he doesn't get that love treatment from me.
He quit on you.
I'm not giving it to him. I'm just saying I understand why people do. Because we were in such a, like, this is the greatest era of Eagles football.
Hey, Mekhi Lemon, no pressure, buddy.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Coming up next, we have today's headlines with Connor Thomas. And don't forget, it's a Thursday. Andrew Deco will be in studio for 2 hours, and I have another evil, twisted trivia game for you guys later on the show. It's Kincade and Salciunas here on 97.5 The Fanatic.
I can tell you when you visit Benari Jewelers, you're going to feel like you are joining family because they're knowledgeable, they're trustworthy, but most importantly, they make you feel at ease. So if you're looking for a great diamond and you want something that is going to be one of a kind, something that's not going to look like it's a cookie cutter that you could get anywhere, you get it from Benari in Exton or Newtown Square. And here's another thing you're going to get at Benari you're not going to get anywhere else. An industry-leading 110% diamond upgrade guarantee. Your diamond is never going to lose value when you're ready to upgrade it. So if you have a diamond, it's always going to have that little bit of an upgrade in value so you know they stand behind their diamond. Their showcases are filled with the most sought-after bridal designers that you're not going to find at every other jeweler out there, too. They're a direct diamond importer. They can get you the diamond she deserves, the ring she wants, and still you're going to stay under budget. 2 beautiful showrooms, Exton and Newtown Square. And you can find them online at BenariJewelers.com.
The Phillies are... is Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5, The Fanatic.
It is 7:48 here on Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5, The Fanatic. Making a trip up to the Great Northeast today, Johnny. I can't wait.
The Great Northeast.
My old stomping grounds. Got to check out the European markets. We're doing a Lithuania day on.
I think that's a really great idea for a rainy day at the shore.
Weather's going to suck. It will be a full household.
Who's Uncle Jesse?
Well, not that. It'll be me, my parents, Christy,
okay,
and Cooper, and also my sister and her husband and their little baby.
Okay, that'll be fun.
3 dogs.
That's gonna be fun.
It's gonna be a day on Saturday, and it's gonna be raining, so we're all gonna be trapped inside. Gonna be a blast. All right, time now for today's headlines with Connor Thomas.
Today's headlines with the Connor Thomas.
And it's brought to us by Lundy Law. For over 70 years, Lundy Law has been fighting for injured people. If you need them, remember the name Lundy Law. Your injury lawyers, visit LundyLaw.com. That's LundyLaw.com, and the defending champions, boys, have punched back.
7-point game. Got a foul here to get the ball back. Caruso! Good night! Even the series.
The Thunder have pulled even with the Spurs, and this has been some incredible basketball that they've been playing through 2 games.
Yeah, it's just the foul baiting's ridiculous. It really is. It's so egregious. And then look, even if the Thunder didn't do it, they'd still be a really good basketball team. All right, let's make that clear.
Okay.
But it's just like it's sometimes hard to watch. I'll be completely honest with you. Like it is hard to watch it constantly happening. And it's so funny. I saw something. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander yesterday took a jump shot and fell down when he took the jump shot. And somebody was like, why does he do this? And somebody did, well, he's talked about it. He does it so he doesn't get hurt. I'm like, man, where'd
you hear that before?
Where have I heard that before? Now, 7'2" and always injured is a little bit different than 6'6", but I've heard that before.
Yeah, but does that outweigh like seeing what Wembanyama's done in this series? 17 boards again last night. The Castle poster. Like there's some amazing moments already.
I can ignore it. It just sometimes makes it hard to watch. I'll be honest. Like there was a foul call yesterday on Harrison Barnes, who I think set a screen and didn't even make contact with the guy. And whoever it was for the Thunder literally jumped backwards and fell on his back. And I'm like, you're risking, honestly, injury more than like for this one foul.
Shout out Harrison Barnes, by the way. Still doing it.
And he has had a resurgence. Like, there was a time when the Kings got him, and everyone's like, what the hell are they doing? And then he had a complete turnaround in Sacramento. Like, a couple years ago, he was averaging 15 a game, and now he's a very nice role player with San Antonio. I mean, he was always a role player with Golden State, too.
Yeah, I just like to see the old head still doing it.
By the way, old head? You know how old he is?
How old is he?
He's only 33.
Yeah, that's old head.
He's been playing forever. He's been playing since he was 20. But 33 is not old. Dude, you want to talk about old heads? The Sixers got 2 of them.
We had to do that. We had to bring up Sixers.
Well, I mean, you're calling him an old head. Look at the Sixers. He's the same age of Embiid, and Paul George is like 40.
You've been in the league 13 years. You're an old head to me. Now, have you guys seen the new trend that's going on? It's sweeping baseball stadiums around the nation.
That's stupid.
You don't like it?
No.
Johnny, have you seen this? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Is it the shirts off thing?
Tarps off with the boys. The latest, it's taken over down in Tampa. They had a whole section going crazy.
It's funny.
I love this. What is your beef with this?
Why do you have why don't you have a beef with this?
It's funny, stupid. I'm not saying, like, don't do it. It's just...
I'm just thinking of a bunch of Bonner dorks out there doing it.
Yeah, I just...
Causing a fight.
It would be... I would see it happening at a game. Kind of like the ghost deck. Everybody was up in arms. I looked at it once and said, all right, there it is.
That's an unfair comparison. This is fun.
Yeah, sure.
Wow. Not for the boys. Andrew Salciunas. Okay. I think it's a great time.
I think it's a funny thing, and it's a look. If a bunch of kids are there at the game too, hopefully that they would be more interested in the game than the nonsense. But it's all right.
Yeah,
they're there. At least we got them in the building.
Here's where I'm different. I go to the Phillies games to watch the Phillies. I go to the Eagles to watch the Eagles. I go to the Sixers to watch the Sixers. I go to the Flyers to watch the Flyers. There have been very, very, very few. One time where I went to a game and had a little too much fun. And, like, that's it. One time. Like, I'm not that guy. Like, I'm not the, yo, bro, let's go tailgate for 4 hours before the game and, like, not really be able to comprehend what's happening. Like, I just go to the game.
Andrew Salciunas doesn't like to party.
But you know me. No, I do. You've seen it. Just when I go to the game, I go to the game. I paid for my seat to watch this team play.
So if you're in that section and you got like 40 guys around you, shirts over the head, tarps off for the boys, cheering up the home nine.
Bathroom break.
Yeah.
There you go.
All right, fair enough. Are you guys fans of Survivor?
I watched the first 2. I think it was first 2. And then I stopped watching. I stopped watching.
Yeah,
because I think all of those shows, they just become people go on the shows and go, I'm going to be this guy. I'm going to be this character. It's like I watched The Real World.
Yeah.
In the beginning. You're too young. The Real World.
No, I know what The Real World. I was never interested. I know what it is. It's the competition on the island.
Well, Jeff Probst, anyone, whether you like the show or not, how much you watch it, we can all agree. He's
been a day one guy, right?
He's the host forever, and he does an incredible job. One of the great TV hosts of any show ever. Had a major issue last night. So they do the live show where everybody comes back from the season when they get down to the final couple of people. And they were doing that last night during the episode. Just take a listen to this.
Rizzo, you become the final member of our jury. Take a spot over here. This is it. These are the people. Their games fell a little short, but this is the group that is going to figure out what just happened.
They didn't show the fire.
Fire hasn't happened yet.
Huh?
The fire hasn't happened yet.
They moved the guy to the jury. They actually had not shown on the show the challenge where he had gotten eliminated.
God.
Completely ruined one of the biggest episodes
So
of
then
the
this is
season.
actually live.
Yes.
Because usually I don't believe that these things are actually live.
Oh, it's actually live.
So this thing's actually live because you could clearly edit it.
Yes.
Wow.
Now, not us. We would never screw
No,
up
we
on
would
live
never do
media or television. So
Right,
I
exactly.
can't believe he did that. But that's got to be a tough one.
If you are a big fan of Survivor, then yeah, I would imagine that would piss you off a little bit.
There
I
were a
would
lot of
think
people
so.
up in arms last night about that. Have you ever had a sporting event ruined for you like that?
What do you mean?
What? Like you watch games on like repeat all the
See,
time?
I
or
don't
you get
do.
to games
I
like
always
that?
make sure. I always make sure if I enter a game late, I just make sure the phone is nowhere,
Yeah.
the iPad's nowhere, and just watch it.
I had
Yeah.
one of the Flyers playoff games, the overtime game against Carolina, one of the two, where somebody texted me, well, that sucks, like 3 seconds before I saw it on my screen. I was like,
Yeah.
that's tough.
That's why I don't look at my phone during games because people have services that might be quicker than others. Yeah. So, not really for me.
Okay. Fair enough.
Not
Well,
really.
sorry to all you Survivor fans out there.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry. By the way, it was
Clearly
Survivor.
fans is still going on.
It's Survivor 50 because I see the commercials during The Young and the Restless.
Ah.
Survivor 50. Like at some point, they just keep. It's the same.
If it makes money.
Oh no, it makes money, but
doing it.
yeah, it was. There you go.
I just don't know who watches these shows. I'm dead serious.
Have you ever heard of Middle America?
Like Masked Singer? I have never spoken to somebody that's like, I am a big Masked Singer fan. I've never had a single conversation with somebody that likes it.
There's not much to do in Bumble, you know what?
No,
Iowa.
our friend Tristan loves it.
Okay, then that's
He's obsessed with
That's
it.
one person, and yet it's on every year.
It's like 400 million people out
And
there.
they
in the country.
benefit to have the NFL as their lead-in. All right, coming up next, our man Andrew Deco will be in studio. His thoughts on this prove-it-year discussion, the pendulum swing season for the Philadelphia Eagles. Are we teetering a little bit? Kincade Salciunas, 97.5, The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Nola continues to struggle. I'm Connor Thomas, and the Phillies lost their first series under interim manager Don Mattingly yesterday, falling 9-4 in the finale to the Reds. Aaron Nola had another rough start. 8 hits allowed, 4 runs in 5 innings worth of work. He talked about what hasn't been working and what he's been struggling with after the game.
Some fastballs over the plate, getting 2 outs and then 2 quick outs and then getting guys on. I feel like I've had a lot of traffic every inning. Had 2 1-2-3 innings today, but overall, this year it's been traffic a lot.
It really has been and has not led to good results for Aaron Nola. The Phillies are in an interesting spot with him. We'll keep an eye on that. They're off today. They'll welcome the Guardians to Citizens Bank Park for a 3-game series starting tomorrow. The Sixers are still looking for their next president of basketball operations, but they know that they found a stud rookie, VJ Edgecombe, named to the NBA All-Rookie First Team yesterday after a stellar debut campaign. And some concerning news for the Eagles yesterday as it was reported that edge rusher Nolan Smith was arrested Friday accused of speeding and reckless driving. No word on any discipline handed down for the league or the Eagles. They start team offseason activities on Tuesday. Andrew Deco joins us coming up next in studio. This update is brought to you by thereamteam.com. Unbeatable savings savings are on now with 0% for 60 months with approved credit on select Rheem air conditioners. Hurry to thereamteam.com and lock in your savings today. I'm Connor Thomas for the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and Union. 97.5 The Fanatic and the
Now back to Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic app.
It is 8 a.m. here on Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic, 8 a.m. on a Thursday, which means now for the rest of the show, we are going to be joined in studio by our man from inside the Birds and, of course, 97.5 The Fanatic, the great Andrew Deco, and we'll be able to get his thoughts on this potential pendulum swing season that we might experience with the Philadelphia Eagles, because it's been a really interesting week of conversations surrounding Jalen Hurts and the potential quiet prove-it year that the Eagles are setting up. And again, if you're just tuning in, we had this whole conversation on Tuesday about whether or not you agree with the Eagles' strategy. I am for it. John Kincade would pay Jalen Hurts right now if he could.
I would extend him absolutely.
I know you got deep pockets. I don't know if you could afford Jalen Hurts' contract.
Oh no, Jalen could. Jalen's buying me dinner.
So, we asked on Tuesday, are you okay with the idea? And I am. I'm totally fine with it. We'll get Andrew's thoughts on it in a second. But, of course, our man, Bill Colarulo, Billy Sirianni, he heard what you were saying about Jalen Hurts because he was wondering why you wouldn't want to prove it year for Jalen Hurts when you had to talk about Nick Sirianni back in January. Here was Bill Colarulo yesterday on Unfiltered.
Anyone who would argue, like John Kincade did yesterday, that this can't be a prove-it year because of Jalen Hurts' resume. He's been to the playoffs 5 years in a row.
You're going to do this, aren't you?
Yes, I am. Because Hurts has been to the playoffs 5 years in a row. He's gone to 2 Super Bowls. He's won a Super Bowl. He's had different coordinators. You could say the exact same thing about the head coach, Nick Sirianni. Because I just played for you John Kincade saying that it is asinine to say it is a prove-it year for Jalen Hurts because of his resume. This is the hypocrisy of not only John Kincade, but a lot of Eagles fans out there. John Kincade back in January didn't care about Nick Sirianni's resume. It's a prove-it year for Nick. Listen to Kincade back in January.
360 days.
He's got to prove that he's still the head coach of the football team.
Clock's ticking. The watch is on. Clock's ticking. This would be, to me, the year where I say, prove it or not. And if it is not a great year, and I mean great year, I am absolutely moving on.
Wow. You're not hearing the hypocrisy here, and I know it's not just John Kincade. There's a lot of Eagles fans who, if you dare say it is a prove-it year for Jalen Hurts, will attack you. They will come after you. They will call you a hater. They will tell you don't know what you're talking about. And what they will look at is the 5-year resume of Jalen Hurts, which is identical to Nick Sirianni's 5-year resume. So how could this be a prove-it year for the head coach and not a prove-it year for the starting quarterback? Please explain that one.
Hello, Andrew Deco. Good morning.
Hello, Mr. Deco.
By the way, shout out to Ray with the. Are we really doing this?
Are we really doing this?
I love you, Ray.
I love that.
So, Andrew, let's start with our conversation that we had Tuesday before we go further into what Billy Sirianni had to say there. Jalen Hurts, are you under the impression that the Eagles are setting up sort of like a quiet, prove-it type year for Jalen Hurts with this new offense? Not Jalen Hurts, the resume and everything he's accomplished. Sean Mannion offense, this is the direction the team wants to go in. Can you handle it? Do you believe they're doing that?
Yeah. Now, without trying to sound flippant, prove what exactly? Because, I mean, he's won a lot of football games in Philadelphia, Super Bowl winner, Super Bowl MVP. I don't have to read the credentials,
Right.
but he's done a lot for this organization. So to look at it and boil it down to one season and say this is a prove-it year for the quarterback or the head coach, which I also think is ridiculous to suggest that it's a prove-it year for Nick Sirianni. Yeah, I mean, I have questions about that because I don't necessarily see it the same way.
So basically what we're trying to figure out is, are the Eagles doing? It's not what I'm saying. Like, the Eagles are not giving him his contract extension right,
Right.
Which we all know Howie Roseman likes to get ahead of things early. We also know that next year the guaranteed money plummets. So this is normally the time where we at least hear that they're negotiating. We've heard the opposite, where Derek Gunn comes on the show and we go, hey, by the way, any update? No, not happening. And we were like, wait, what? And it almost kind of feels like the Eagles are doing that. Is it because they want to go in a certain direction with the offense where there are questions of whether or not Jalen Hurts can throw over the middle of the field? He doesn't like players in motion. All these things that have been talked about. That's exactly what we should be expecting with Sean Mannion, right?
Right, exactly. So, I mean, I think this is the smart play for the Eagles. You want to at least see how the offense looks because, as I've mentioned to you guys before, I believe, it feels like the train's at the station and this is what they're doing offensively, so it's almost like get on board because the train's leaving. They're committed to this style. It's been very successful around the NFL, and I think you want to see your franchise quarterback be able to execute it to the degree that they're expecting before you commit a pretty considerable sum to and for the foreseeable future. So, yeah, I mean, in that sense, yes, but I always have, I always hesitate whenever I hear prove it because that's a general term, and he has proven that he can do, elevate his game when the lights are brightest. A lot of great quarterbacks haven't been able to do that, and the list goes on. You look at his resume. So in the sense of can he execute the offense through the vision of how Sean Mannion wants it to look, or are they going to have to make concessions? Are they going to have to revert back to some of the ideologies and foundational pieces that they utilized previously under Nick Sirianni and the different coordinators? Because if you're able to, I think best case scenario or worst case scenario, I should say, you're blending those two, but you have to see it first before you're committing.
One of the things that is clear is the Eagles, the Eagles were ready to move on from Nick Sirianni multiple times. And according to multiple reports, they were at least in discussions going, are we going to cut him loose? Are we really committed to this guy? Whereas I think they've shown much more commitment to Jalen Hurts. Do you believe that has changed where those two are sort of on an even playing field right now?
Yeah.
As far as the organization looks at them.
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, they've given Jalen a lot of weapons, certainly this year as well. Drafting Mekhi Lemon, drafting Eli Stowers. You brought back Dallas Goedert. Yeah, I mean, they're sort of taking all the potential excuses off the table for both parties. This is a huge year for both of them, and you know when it's such a drastic departure from what you've grown accustomed to doing, all eyes are going to be on the two most important figures relative to the football team. So, yeah, I do believe, John, that they're on a relatively even playing field right now.
All right, so that leads us to the question. And, Connor, have the Davis Honda text line ready. You could feel the Davis difference by checking them out in Burlington. And my bad, we have to check the poll today as well from Dr. Avidan Appel and Iron Mountain Men's Health. But what we're asking our audience, and I want your answer on it, Andrew, is whether or not this is sort of like a pendulum-type season, a pendulum swinging type season where, as I said earlier, it's not if they play poorly, they're going to be the Jets. But I mean more so Nick Sirianni, his future. Jalen Hurts, his future. Landon Dickerson, Cam Jurgens, if their bodies can't keep up, their future. Safety position, that future. Like, there's a lot of questions. Do you almost have more questions than answers? Do you believe this season could really teeter what the future of the Philadelphia Eagles look like? And I mean future like 2027, 28 season.
Yeah, well, I think it depends on how it looks, right? Like if they're scratching and clawing and it doesn't look pretty with the abundance of talent that they've assembled. Yeah,
like last year.
Yeah, like if there's another year like that where they fall short of meeting expectations, I would imagine that, yeah, it's going to look different. Inevitably, you can't run it back. You can't pull a Phillies and continue to run it back and expect the same results. But I do believe that Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni and company deserve the benefit of the doubt because there is a demonstrated track record of success. So until we see it manifest on the field, we have no way of knowing. We have no way of being able to come up with those answers. But I am intrigued with what this offense could eventually be with the pieces that are there. And by all accounts, Sean Mannion's a very sharp-minded offensive coach. And, yeah, I mean, a lot of it's gonna hinge on the performance of this offense. There's a lot of financial commitments to it right now.
When you look at the quarterback situation, do you understand where I am coming from in the idea that, would you understand where somebody is so committed to saying, I've seen enough that I don't want to go into the indecision of there might be somebody better out there? Or do you think that it's better to let somebody have the fire under them right now in the quarterback market?
Yeah, I see where you're coming from, John. Jalen, I mean, you would think that you have seen enough. That's a pretty large sample size. But the goal in the NFL each and every year is to evolve. And when you have an offense that's primed to make a deep run and a Super Bowl run, you have to be able to seize it. And you need the offense to be able to perform a certain way. You could rattle off the wins. I'm well aware of all the wins that the Eagles have compiled over the years. But it's about taking the next step. It's about placing your offense to the degree of the Rams and the 49ers. And with as much as is invested in this group, there's no reason why they can't reach that expectation. So I understand why there are reservations from some. But personally, I've seen enough, and it is so difficult to identify a franchise quarterback. Just look across the league. There's a lot of bridge quarterbacks. There's teams that are sort of just settling on certain options because it's so difficult to find the right option that you got to be careful what you wish for.
So would you pay him today?
Would I pay him today? No.
All right, same. I'm fine with
but that's just my perspective on it.
I'm fine with what the Eagles are doing. And I know that, and we talked about it a couple of times, it's going to mean maybe a lot of money difference, right? Like, because Howie's usually good at getting ahead of the mark and all that kind of stuff. But I'm totally fine with this strategy because let's say it doesn't work. Like, let's say Jalen Hurts is, we saw the quarterback ranking list the other day. He was 19th. Like, if he's the 19th ranked quarterback again, are you paying him $56 million a year, $57 million a year? Like, I'm not.
Yeah, it's tough to justify doing that.
I would not do that, even though he has won. And it sounds like I'm not thankful for what Jalen Hurts has done, and that sounds gross saying it, but I'm sorry. If he's mid again, like, I'm not paying him that much money. I'm not.
Yeah, I think you need to see what the offense looks like first. There could be a complete revamp of the offense where he's executing it at a high level, there could be a marrying of the previous iteration of that scheme coupled with what Sean Mannion brings in, or they could have to scrap it entirely if it doesn't work out, much like they had to do when Kellen Moore took over as offensive coordinator 4 weeks in. So I'm fascinated by this whole discussion, but the reason why I would have some pause, like yourself, Andrew, is because I need to see it first, because that's a pretty significant investment in that position, and it's a franchise-altering decision.
Oh,
so
we're talking like 4 years, right? It's not like he's getting a 1 year, $57 million. It would be like a 4-year extension or a 3, whatever, how many years it would be. They would rework the contract with the last year that's on it, but he would be here for like at least 4 more years.
Right.
It's a big decision that they would have to make. All right, let's check the poll of the day first. Brought to us by Dr. Abdon Appel, Iron Mountain Men's Health. It's 4 hours strong every single morning. What do we got on that, Connor? And then we'll check the Davis Honda text line.
Our question here, who do you believe this is more of a prove-it year for between the quarterback and the coach of the Eagles? Some nice round numbers on this one so far. 60% saying Jalen Hurts, 40% saying Nick Sirianni.
All right, so here's what's funny. I would say it's more prove-it year for Jalen Hurts, but I think they would fire Sirianni before they move on from
Nick Sirianni, they've almost fired twice.
Yeah.
And this organization has already shown you, they don't look at coaches the same way that they look at players.
Well, it's also a lot easier to move on from a coach than it is a quarterback.
Yeah, because it's not about cap. It's not about.
So I don't put as much stock into that. When looking at it through the lens of one or the other, well, which one's easier to move off of?
Is this unfair? And I always like to be fair. I feel like I kind of already know who Nick Sirianni is, and I don't really know who Jalen Hurts is. Like Jalen Hurts, I've seen him in 2022 have a great throwing season. Then I saw him have a pretty good season in 2023. Then I saw them take the ball out of his hands, run the football. But, man, big game player, NFC Championship game, Super Bowl. The guy can win. What you said earlier, John, I am completely in agreement with. If he doesn't have great coordinators, and don't do me that, every team needs great coordinators. Like, if he doesn't have great coordinators, he might not be a problem solver. And I feel like I kind of know that about him already.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing with Jalen is just consistency, because you'll see games like the Steelers game, but you'll also see games like the Carolina Panthers of 2 years ago. But then you'll see the NFC Championship game and the Super Bowl, that Super Bowl in 2022 against the Chiefs the first time. I thought that was the best game that Jalen Hurts ever played. So what I find most remarkable about Jalen is that he could have a bad quarter, a bad half, but it sort of doesn't phase him, and he's able to rebound and put that behind him. That's a really rare quality for a quarterback. And if you're looking for a replacement, if you're one of those looking for a replacement, you better make sure that you have some of that type of DNA in your quarterback, because otherwise, it could be certainly tough sledding.
Yeah. All right, what do we got on the text line? And, oh, boy, you know how we had maybe the battle of the reporters with Shefty and James Palmer?
Yes.
We may have a battle of heavyweights. With all due respect to James Palmer, when you think of the top two people in the industry, you think of Adam Schefter and who?
Jay Glazer.
Oh, I go rap sheet.
Yeah, that's where.
Oh.
Either way.
If I go paychecks, I'm going Jay Glazer.
All right.
If you're going.
But do you agree, Shefty?
Yes, rap sheet
Rappaport?
does very well.
All
Rap
right.
sheet is very, very good.
Give us a text. We may have dueling reports. And aren't they teammates now?
I believe so.
Well, they're part of the same organization, yes. Yes.
Is this a Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown riff? Who knows? What do we got?
What is it?
This texter checks in and says, Nick Foles had some great passing games, too, when he had to pass the ball. That didn't make him a great quarterback. Just like Jalen, when you're talking about the postseason games, is not telling the full story. Occasionally, he'll have a good game without a run game, but mostly it seems like he needs it.
I will say this. I think it's disrespectful to compare the two. I get what they're saying. All right, I get what they're saying. But Jalen Hurts will have the far better career than Nick Foles.
I mean, are you serious?
Yeah.
Are we doing this?
It's not even
Are we
close.
doing this?
I mean, if you're looking at it purely on numbers and resume, Jalen Hurts is on a Hall of Fame trajectory.
I love
How about
Nick.
doing college career?
Yeah.
How about doing pro career?
I love Nick Foles.
Are you serious? Stop
I
it.
love him.
Nick Foles was a journeyman.
I get what they're trying to say. Like, Nick Foles had a stretch of really good throwing games. Look at 2024. There was literally like 11 weeks where they didn't throw the football. I get what the guy's trying to say, but to compare the two, I think it's disrespectful.
Stop.
I think the point's valid. I think the comparison between the two players is not.
All right. Ian Rappaport. was on with Manish Mehta, a person that I've mentioned on this station pretty frequently. Manish Mehta used to be with the New York Post. And cover the Jets for the New York Post. He has a podcast called the Tackles Pod. And he recently had Ian Rappaport on as a guest. I'm guessing yesterday because he just tagged me in a tweet. Rap sheet, quote, "This is not the Patriots and Eagles have a secret deal they're going to unveil on June 1. It's not like that. I don't even know if one is going to get done June 1. The Eagles want a 2027 first-round pick. You can hold firm."
Okay, well, first off, I'm going to tell you it's a ridiculous tweet. Absolutely absurd. Absolutely patently absurd. How can you say the last sentence? Repeat it again.
You can hold firm?
That's bullcrap. How can anybody tweet that?
Well, no, he said it.
How can anybody say you can hold firm?
Why can't you?
Because you don't know. The only way you can hold firm is if you can guarantee you're going to get one.
Well, you can hold firm and not get one. We've seen,
and then you're going to bring A.J. Brown back? Can't do that.
What'd you see from the Sixers? They thought a deal was going. They held firm. They didn't get a deal. You miss sometimes.
But they can't bring that back.
I think they mean more so like they want the 27 first-round pick.
But that means then you're willing, if you're holding firm, the definition of holding firm is we will keep the player unless we get a 2027 pick. That is never happening. A.J. Brown is never walking back into the Eagles' locker room as an Eagle.
When have the Eagles ever said that? Everything I've heard from Howie Roseman is he's an Eagle.
I will tell you right now, he is never walking back into the locker room as a Philadelphia Eagle.
Well, yeah, because they're not get what they want.
They are not holding firm. They're going to get something. They're going to get the best deal they can for him. He will not be an Eagle again.
Look,
that ship has sailed.
Look, I'm Team Shefty because he's on our show every week.
And you notice who's off the side of the building? Have you noticed?
I know.
A.J. Brown is off the side of the building. He's taken down off the building.
Well, they're just remodeling.
No, there's a reason for that. He's off. It's over. The chapter's done.
Yeah, he's not going to be
Stop with the conspiracy theories because the only way someone can tell you is they can hold is if you're willing to hold the player.
Right.
They're not willing to hold the player.
I was more so like at the point just mentioning that it might not happen June 1st, but okay.
No,
I get what you're saying.
They can't hold. They can't.
Right.
The only way you can hold is if you say, yeah, we'll bring A.J. back, and they're not.
Do you believe news drops June
1st? No. I think it'll be shortly thereafter.
All right. So maybe I'm not missing
but I did hear what Adam said on your show yesterday. He's going golfing, so he's pretty comfortable that he'll hear something.
Or it'll happen June 4th when he's back from golf.
He's incredibly comfortable. Incredibly comfortable.
Yeah, I'm Team Shefty. But there's a lot of people saying this might take longer. We'll see.
They are. I think what's happened is it's been a long time waiting for June 1st. It's been a long time waiting for June 1st, and the news cycle churns, and you need headlines, and you need, hey, get us some content. We need A.J. Brown content. There's no way they're holding
It'd be
firm.
great coming back from vacation, and the A.J. Brown trade hadn't happened yet.
They're holding firm.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, coming up next. If you have a prove-it type season ahead of you, maybe you don't do something stupid off the field. Well, somebody did that yesterday, and it's a player of the Eagles, and we'll discuss that coming up next if you missed us talking about it 2 hours ago. Pretty rough news for an Eagle. Kincade Salciunas, 97.5, The Fanatic.
I forgot to tell you that when you're craving a blast from the past, why don't you step into the fabulous 50s and enjoy nifty 50s? You want juicy burgers? You want fresh-cut fries? You want handcrafted sodas? You want hand-dipped milkshakes? Well, then do it. Get on into Nifty 50s. Andrew Salciunas wants a churro milkshake. He loves them at its best. Hey, Nifty 50s is a 10-time Best of Philly winner. Now, 10 area locations and coming soon to Oakland, New Jersey. If you can't make it in, no problem. You can order online and get in and get that Nifty 50s flavor right there in your living room. You can get no-fee delivery, too, through the Nifty 50s app. That's available on the App Store and Google Play. So, whether you're stopping by for that classic diner vibe or you're bringing those flavors home, there's nothing like Nifty 50s. Taste the memories. For a full listing of locations and menu, go to nifty50s.com. If you want it, get it. get the Nifty 50s app, and then just get yourself some Nifty 50s.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Reds run it up on the Phils. I'm Connor Thomas, and the Phillies lost their first series under interim manager Don Mattingly yesterday, losing to the Reds 9-4 in the series finale. Aaron Nola, another rough start for him. He allowed 4 hits and 8 hits, 4 runs in 5 innings worth of work on the mound yesterday. Manager Don Mattingly talked after the game about the issues with Nola.
You know, we've talked about a lot of things. We've talked about him pitching backwards, doing different things. Each team kind of presents their own set of challenges, so I can't say it's one thing.
No, it seems there are multiple issues going on there that the Phillies will have to solve if he's to stay in the rotation. They're off today. They'll welcome the Guardians to Citizens Bank Park for a 3-game series starting tomorrow. Sixers are still looking for their next president of basketball operations, but one thing they're not looking for is a star rookie guard. VJ Edgecombe was named to the NBA All-Rookie First Team yesterday. And some concerning news for the Eagles yesterday as it was reported that edge rusher Nolan Smith was arrested Friday, accused of speeding and reckless driving. No word on any discipline handed down from the league or the Eagles. They'll start team off-season activities on Tuesday. Andrew Deco remains with the guys for the remainder of the show. We'll talk about that Nolan Smith story coming up next. Anthony Sanfilippo of On Pattison joins us at 9:05 to talk some Phils, Kyle Schwarber's status, and what you do with Aaron Nola. I'm Connor Thomas for the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and Union, 97.5 The Fanatic.
If you want to see their wonderful faces, check out youtube.com/975 The Fanatic Philadelphia. More of Kincade and Salciunas coming your way now.
All right, in 1 hour's time, another John and Connor versus Andrew Deco Eagles trivia game.
Oh, that's good.
It went so well last time.
It went so well
me-
the time
for me,
before
it
that
did, yeah.
either, as well.
Hey, I'm on the juice right now, so I might have a little extra.
That's right.
extra work.
I won't hold my
Connor's-
breath.
Connor's on like muscle relaxers over there, so if his points seem logical for a change, then maybe that's why.
Wow. Ouch.
Harsh, man.
That hurts.
A little rough.
So yeah, I have a evil twisted game. I can't wait to get to later on. The
Maybe it won't cater to me, to my skill set.
show. Going to guess that it will. Well, no, this is not going to be 7th round draft pick questions, but we'll see.
Undrafted free agents. I told you, I got you from 2001 all the way to probably 07.
You're just a lunatic of information, which is amazing.
Or just a lunatic.
That could be it too. I think we all are.
I've been
Depends
called.
on how-
Listen, I've been called worse.
Hell yeah, man. All right.
A lunatic for music he is.
So
That's true.
last night, it comes out in the middle of the night. It happened this past Friday that Nolan Smith was arrested in Georgia for allegedly driving 135 miles per hour.
Allegedly.
I don't know why every article
Okay,
says
yes,
allegedly.
exactly.
Like, you got pulled
Well,
over.
because he could have been doing 133.
Oh,
He
yeah,
could
you're right.
challenge
You're
the-
right.
No
Yeah.
one wants to get sued these days.
Yeah, he could because maybe he says the thing wasn't calibrated properly.
So, Nolan Smith, completely stupid, idiotic decision making on his part to do that. Not calling him a dumb individual, but man, was he absolutely dumb in that moment. What the hell are you doing? Stop with the excuse making. John said he saw it on social media. People doing the whole
It's
in cars-
incredible.
In cars like that, you
Yeah,
know,
when you're a rich guy, and then these young kids too. I love that one. These young kids.
Brother, I was young once too, and I remember touching 90 once and being like, "Wow, this is fast." And
Wait a minute, didn't you
scary.
just go like 150 in a car?
I did. Yeah, I didn't drive. It was Brad Kozlowski that
you were
was
doing
driving.
you were
it.
doing like 150.
Yeah, it's,
With a professional driver.
and I was terrified.
And you were like terrified. Yeah.
It's very fast. So, Nolan Smith, you were an idiot. I don't know what the hell is wrong with you.
It
I
was
don't know.
idiotic behavior.
I don't know why people are trying to defend it. There's no defending it. And the question is, Andrew, like, I don't know how the Eagles handle this. Like, it's only May, so it's not like this happened the Friday of a game day weekend and they could sit him for the first quarter or he gets suspended or something. Like, OTAs haven't even started yet. It starts next week.
Tuesday.
So how do the Eagles handle something like this? Because this is also a player that, let's face it, is they picked up his fifth-year option, as I thought they should have done. I wouldn't just let him walk, but I'm not having contract negotiations just yet because I think he needs to prove. I'm talking about the football. I'm not even talking about what took place this past Friday. What do the Eagles do when something like this happens, especially, all jokes aside, with the whole Georgia Bulldog tag at this point, because there have been numerous teammates of his from college that have gotten into similar situations with driving well over the speed limit?
Yeah, well, first of all, there's no defending that. It's inexcusable. And for someone like Nolan Smith, I'm actually surprised that it was Nolan Smith that had that infraction, because this is the same player who was beside Jalen Carter when Jalen Carter had his introductory press conference because he wanted to be there in support. Just seems to have the emotional intelligence, and he's coming from a premier program in Georgia. He was roommates with Nakobe Dean. Nakobe Dean is an exceptional human being and the consummate leader.
Also
gone. He's no longer in Philadelphia, of course, but you would think that just being around that culture and someone like Nakobe would reflect or would have that kind of impression on Nolan. But yeah, I'm not exactly sure, Andrew, how the Eagles are going to handle this. I think I don't necessarily expect anything in the immediacy. You kind of have to, let it kind of run its course and then make the appropriate decision however they deem fit. But yeah, I mean, obviously not something that you want. And I will tell you that you ask any coach, their biggest fear is that 5-week gap that they have in June until early July when players aren't under their roof. They're not under their supervision. They're free to do what they will. And the one thing you don't want is a phone call. saying something like that.
Somebody got one Friday night, and it happened at 10:41, so it wasn't even like, not that it. Oh my God.
Okay, what are you
not
gonna
that
say?
it's ever okay to drive those speeds, but there's people on the roads.
Absolutely. Well, no. Where he's driving,
Probably not so
I will
much.
tell you, it's very quiet.
All right.
It's very quiet, especially at that hour of the night. Very quiet. I find it like people are like, how could you even drive that speed at that hour? I absolutely would believe you'd navigate minimal cars at that hour.
Sure.
On those roads.
It's it's reckless.
It
doesn't make it any
no, I'm
less
not making an
reckless.
excuse for it. I'm just saying.
I
it
live
doesn't shock
right near a highway, right? So if I'm outside late at night, like it's a nice night, and I'm sitting there, every once in a while I'll hear the, and I'm like, geez, how fast is that person going? That I
Right.
can hear it. I'm not far away, but I'm not that close. I shouldn't be able to hear that loud of a car. And I'm like, what? I get it. Oh, these kids they're young. They don't know what could happen. Dude,
it's so dumb.
It's dumb. That's stupid. And you think what is going through your mind when you're touching 90, when you're touching 100, when you're touching 110, 120. He's at 135.
I mean, a lot of these young players, though, they don't know of some of the greatest players that if this town has lost, like a Pele Lindbergh, like a Jerome Brown, like a thing that, just cars are a weapon.
Yeah.
Cars are a weapon.
Yeah, I think it's horrible. All right. Also, the Schwarber stuff, we were talking about this earlier.
Thoughts and prayers?
From an optics standpoint, Andrew, I'm not upset that he missed a game and then still had his charity event last night that he attended. I just question the validity of the absence, which has been labeled as illness. I asked John and Connor this question earlier. What are 4 words that seemingly always come out of somebody's mouth when they see somebody that is sick?
Don't come near me.
Don't come near me. Stay away from me.
At least that's what I say.
Right. So Kyle Schwarber has missed 3 games. 2 of the 3, he's been in the dugout, with the team. Get away from me. You're sick. Stay away from me. Stay at your house. I mentioned the Sixers as an example. The amount of times something is ran through the Sixers, right? Because it's cold and flu season and apparently gastroenteritis season for the Sixers. Get away. If you're sick and you're not going to play, then don't be here. If he was too sick to play and then was able to go to his thing, it makes me think that it's not an illness, it's something else. But why won't you just be honest about it?
Yeah, something wasn't lining up. And to me, it seemed a little fishy in the sense that, is there something else at play? And I think it's pretty obvious. I don't know that you would have him in front of a number of people if he was sick, teammates, and run the risk of getting them sick and missing more players. I think I look at the slide that he had a few games ago, and you can't help but wonder.
He hasn't played since.
Right, you can't help but wonder if there was a tweak there, and they're
then
saying,
why not be honest about it?
I mean, what would it be? Illness?
A tweak doesn't mean 10-day IL automatically.
Sure.
It could mean, hey, we're keeping him out of the lineup for a few days.
I mean, yeah, it does it. The optics are.
And this isn't hockey where it's lower body injury and people are slashing a hockey stick. If Kyle Schwarber tweaked his ankle, he tweaked his ankle.
And
maybe he didn't want it out there.
Yeah, I have no idea.
He already got his contract. It's not like he has to worry about
I
that.
have no
I don't know.
understanding
It's
of
weird.
why these teams have to be so Scooby-Doo. I just don't get it. There's nothing to it. There's no reason for it.
Yeah, just be transparent because you're leaving, in their case, their fan base at an information deficit. I mean, that's a pretty important piece, and you would hope that they would be transparent.
Well,
with
if he was available to pinch hit yesterday, you do have to pinch. You have to run, right?
Well, yeah, I remember Bader did that in the playoffs.
He just
Not
had
if
to
he hits it out of the yard, baby.
Yeah,
So
right.
obviously it can't be that bad. If they knew he'd have to run on it, if it's something, he'd still have to run on it. I don't know.
I don't know if the heat had something to do with it.
Look, my first thought was when it was illness and the heat, I go, all right. But then when I see him in the dugout,
that's what I.
And then when I see him at the event, I go, all right, well, just how sick is this guy?
But just the Phillies don't really hide stuff, and Kyle Schwarber has always been very forthcoming with the media and everything going on with him. Anytime you're in Philadelphia or anywhere else for that matter, so I don't think there's foul play anywhere here. I think it's just a weird situation that we'll find out.
Hopefully
about
not foul play. We don't want anything to happen.
I don't think anyone's trying to pull the wool over the fan base size. I just think there's something weird going on with whatever this illness is, and we'll find out when we find out.
And illness is a broad term. To Connor's point, maybe it had something to do with the heat. I mean, it's not exactly an apt comparison, but there's a guitar player who I hold in high regard. He does a lot of shows, but there were certain temperatures when they reached a certain level, a certain threshold, he wasn't able to be on stage and perform. He had to do it in a separate area. Whether that's anxiety or whether that's a medical condition, I don't know. But
I watched Kyle Schwarber play in hot weather before.
Yeah, I'm trying to rationalize.
And he tends to be crazy in it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, June Schwarber. It's a Schwarber fest.
Like the thing is, I don't know if sweating honey mustard could be on a scouting report.
Has anyone ever sweated honey mustard?
I think it's
just a quick show of hands.
Bad stuff coming out of you. That bad stuff comes out of you. I don't know what it is.
I don't see Kyle Schwarber as a bad eater, though.
I hope not.
I don't see
Hope he's
No,
okay.
I don't.
Until they give you the truth.
You think he's out because he's fat?
You just wonder what it is. Look, just answer the question. Just do it like Phillies. Just answer the question.
I'm going to guarantee it's not that.
Yeah, I don't think it's that, John.
Just answer the question. No, just answer the question then.
Phils are off today, by the way. They back at it tomorrow against the Guardians. If any games are played over the next week, because the weather doesn't really look all that
By the way,
great.
usually when you don't go to work, you don't go and do extracurricular.
Yeah, I heard. That's why I
went to
don't.
work.
That's
He just
why
didn't play.
That's why I don't believe the illness thing.
Exactly.
All right, coming up next. I just read something about a potential future decision that the NFL might make, and I wonder if we absolutely freaking hate it. I feel like the answer is yes. It's Kincade and Salciunas 97.5, The Fanatic.
The Flyers' future is bright, but there's still work to be done. What moves Sean Connor, Kincade and Salciunas, Philly Sports Talk, 97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic app.
It is 8:47 here on Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic. So during the last segment, an article popped up on my timeline from Jonathan Jones, who covers the NFL for CBS. He's a national reporter. And he spoke to a couple of people, NFL, I don't know what EVP is, NFL EVP, Peter O'Reilly.
Executive Vice President.
All right, sure, that sounds
There
right.
you go.
He spoke with Peter O'Reilly about some things that are going on, and then he wrote an article on some stuff, one of them being the upcoming Olympics in 2028. And apparently, according to Peter O'Reilly, they will be putting out the expression of interest to players in the next coming weeks. Like, hey, would you want to play in the Olympics? We know that Jalen Hurts.
It's going to piss people off that Jalen definitely wants
I mean,
to
he was
do
the face of the freaking commercial. He's probably going to. And we also know that Jalen Hurts is definitely very good at marketing himself. I know we laugh about the robotic press conferences. He's really good at promoting himself. So I wouldn't be surprised if he wants to participate in the Olympics. But one thing that stood out, Jonathan Jones himself asked, like, hey, with your increased, I'll say obsession, not him, but obsession with international games, is there a world where the Super Bowl could one day be played outside of the United States? And he didn't shoot it down. He said, we're not there yet, and it would take some time. Here's the quote. I don't know if I can fully parse that in terms of feasibility versus likelihood, but if you're just talking feasibility, obviously as we go to different stadiums around the world, we're getting a better sense of those buildings. And as we go around the world, we get a sense of passion there. The governmental partnerships, private sector partnerships, and otherwise. I think all of that strengthens the foundation that you need to perhaps someday on a far-off horizon have an international Super Bowl. We have great buildings like Tottenham that were built with the NFL in mind from day one. So I think passion partners, some stadiums, there's some feasibility. I would hate that.
You were a soccer fan for like 10 minutes.
Yes.
Would the English Premier League ever hold their championship match at Lincoln Financial Field?
If somebody did that, that person would probably actually be murdered, because I know how soccer fans can get.
But that's different. They don't play neutral site playoff games. They have their regular season, and the highest points total is the champion. So they don't have a standalone game like that.
But they still play it in one of their stadiums.
But when they have games that are not technically standalone, that are friendlies, they do come over here and play them in these stadiums.
They're friendlies. They're not championships.
Exhibitions, games
They're
that
exhibitions that don't matter.
Right, but they don't have a Super Bowl. So
yeah, but they're games that don't matter is the point,
All right.
Connor.
All right.
They're games that don't mean anything.
I'm just saying there's no apples-to-apples comparison for them.
Look, if the Super Bowl were to be played outside the United States of America, I think that would be one of the dumbest things that the NFL could do. It'll still rate high. It'll still make a lot of money and all that kind of stuff. I get it, but you're getting past the whole point of all this.
Well, it's a logistical nightmare for one.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it shrinks the reach in terms of football here, and I mean, I know the goal and the objective is to grow the game, and that stadium will sell out wherever it is.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I mean, how much more of a reach are you realistically going to gauge here? I don't know that it's going to be worthwhile. I don't think it's going to be worth the squeeze.
By the way, it's not just like media, Radio Row's now.
You can't decide.
You have to have a passport.
You can't decide to go to a foreign country on a Sunday night 2 weeks out. You're finding out you're going to a foreign country. First of all, you're not being able to book airline tickets the 2 weeks out to get the discounts.
Yeah, that ties into my whole logistical nightmare.
ridiculous.
And then you have the Radio Row and all these other amenities that come with the Super Bowl experience. That all of a sudden you're putting that in sort of limbo.
And then, by the way, your fans, because this is what a lot of the times I think the owners and the commissioners forget that this is the reason why you have these leagues is because of us. Like, I'm not saying us like radio people. I'm saying us, the fans that watch. Like, if everybody collectively stopped watching, those leagues would no longer exist. Hey, man, you work really hard for your money, and it's already going to cost you a pretty penny to go to the Super Bowl. Right? We know what the ticket prices are. It's
Crazy
very expensive, and you're going to have to fly from Philadelphia to New Orleans. Okay, doable. No, you're going to have to fly from Philadelphia to London,
Australia or something.
Australia. hotel prices are all like those places are already expensive just because they're already touristy locations because people like to go to European countries. Why would you like that? Would be stupid. It would be so dumb.
Don't put it past them, right?
No,
Is what you're saying too.
I wouldn't put it past the NFL to do that, but it wouldn't make a lot of sense from my view.
If Roger Goodell could find ways to make more money, he's going to do it.
I would just keep it with the international games that they already have throughout the season, the regular season, and leave the Super Bowl the way that it is, the way that it's structured.
All right, Kyle wants to ask Connor, does the English Premier League play non-friendlies on American soil?
No.
Well, they do. The U.S. is now doing that with our sport, our biggest sport. We're taking our games and removing them from our fan bases and putting them over there in the regular season. It's the stupidity of taking away from our fans, from your local fan bases, your local community. By the way, your local economy.
Yeah, but this is not new. We've known they don't really care. Like, the NFL's a business first, and if more people will buy, they're going to do that.
But
they are a business. You're a capitalist, Sean. Is that not what it is?
So is the English Premier League is probably arguably comparable financially to the NFL. Like those franchises, some of the franchises I think are worth more in the English Premier League. Like there is it's a comparable business as far as for those in those countries.
According to Google AI, very reputable source.
Yes, exactly. We always use that.
In 2024, the 20 Premier League teams generated approximately $8.79 billion.
It's a trust but verify when you're going.
That's a lot. Yeah, we'd have to. But still, though, that's a lot.
I'm looking up the NFL.
Those. I know that the Tampa Bay owner, his soccer team is worth more than his NFL team. Whoever owns Tampa Bay, the Glazers, their soccer team is worth more than their NFL team.
NFL apparently made $23 million the same year, so much more.
23
billion. Sorry, billion. 15 billion. 15.
It's amazing. It doesn't even seem real.
That's so much money, man.
Tough to comprehend.
Those numbers don't even seem real.
Yeah, but also, like, if you ran a business and I asked you, well, that business across the street doesn't do it, so why are you? You would say, I think it's better for my business. That's what they're doing.
Well,
it's more money.
The one thing I think of, though, is, Connor, is that I think of who are my customers? And every business should think of who is my customer? And my customer is not to take things away. How am I screwing over my customers?
Are you going to not watch the Super Bowl if it's in London?
No, that doesn't make a difference. You're still going to watch, but it's how am I screwing over my customer base?
Not screwing over, losing. And they're not losing any. They're just making them annoyed.
I just think it's stupid.
You're entitled to that right, but people are still going to watch.
By the way, Connor, you're too young, though, to remember that baseball used to be America's pastime, and football was a distant second. And baseball somehow fumbled the bag and lost that by screwing the business model up.
You're right. They had that World Series in Canada back in 93.
And it could happen. No, but it could happen again. Business models can be screwed up all the time.
I think the NFL knows what they're doing.
Coming up next, we'll speak to our business insider, Aunt Sam Filippo. Just kidding.
He knows some business.
What's the deal with Kyle Schwarber? And did a celebrity chef break news? It's Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Phil's finally lost the series. I'm Connor Thomas, and the Phillies have been red hot under interim manager Don Mattingly, but they lost their first series under his lead yesterday, falling 9-4 to the Reds. Aaron Nola had another rough start. He allowed 8 hits and 4 runs in 5 innings. He talked about it after the game.
Some fastballs over the plate, getting 2 outs and then 2 quick outs and then getting guys on. I feel like I've had a lot of traffic every inning. Had 2 1, 2, 3 innings today, but overall, this year it's been traffic a lot.
The Phils are off today. They'll welcome the Guardians to Citizens Bank Park for a 3-game series starting tomorrow, hoping for a better result in that series. The Sixers are still searching for their next president of basketball operations after parting ways with Daryl Morey, but they know that they have a stud young backcourt, including Tyrese Maxey and VJ Edgecombe, who was named to the NBA All-Rookie First Team yesterday. And some concerning news for the Eagles yesterday was reported. Edge rusher Nolan Smith was arrested Friday, accused of speeding and reckless driving. No word on any discipline handed down from the NFL or the Eagles, but the Birds start team offseason activities on Tuesday, so something to keep an eye on. Anthony Sanfilippo of On Patterson joins us coming up next for the latest on what's going on with the Phillies. This update is brought to you by Staples. It's Staples' 40th anniversary. They've got deals worth celebrating. Now through May 23rd, enjoy up to 50% off. Save on paper, chairs, custom print, balloons, and more. Staples. That was easy. I'm Connor Thomas for the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and Union. 97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic app.
Connor, what separates have to say? Don't worry, we will. But first, let's hear what they got into earlier today on Kincade and Salciunas.
The Eagles are doing something. I think we can all be man enough, big enough, and agree that the Eagles are quietly doing something with Jalen Hurts when it comes to his contract. Have we reached like a pendulum swing type season with the Philadelphia Eagles? And hear me out. We're talking about Jalen Hurts' quiet prove-it year because they're not giving him a contract extension or even negotiating when this is when they would normally have it. I agree with you about Nick Sirianni. You did the whole clock's ticking. Like, yeah, I mean,
if he does not win a playoff game, I believe Nick Sirianni will be gone.
I agree with you. Bill believes the prove-it year for both.
Which I think is fair and reasonable. I get it. But to put the two, this organization would put Nick Sirianni out on the curb so much faster than it would Jalen Hurts. It's not even close. It's not even close.
I'm not so sure. I don't know. I mean, like, they'd be working on his contract. If that's the case, they would say, let's renegotiate Jalen now, and if it doesn't work out this year, we fire Nick. We got him under contract. We fire Nick and get a new head coach in.
This is a guy who was hired as an offensive guru, supposed to be this offensive genius. And he comes in here, and when the offense has been crashing in his tenure, he is the guy, the plane is going down, and Nick Sirianni is sitting there in seat 11C, and someone says, can somebody fly the plane? The pilot's had a heart attack. And Nick Sirianni is ordering another Diet Coke. He's a pilot, but he can't fly the plane. He can't do anything to take you out of the nosedive. And it's been proven multiple times. To compare the resumes of Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts to me is humorous. Absolutely humorous.
Now back to the show.
All right, so what we've been talking about so far this morning are the Eagles about to enter a pendulum swing type season where it's either, hey, this is great. This is the core. We're moving forward. Hurts, here's your contract extension. Nick, you're the best. We love you. Landon, Cam, your bodies are holding up. That's great. Let's keep going. Or could it be the opposite where it's, oh, wait, so is the quarterback really the guy? And maybe we should move on from this coach.
Yeah.
And, man, we have a lot of guys on the offensive line that we need to think about what's next for.
Hopefully we bookmark John Kincaid's and Nick Sirianni segment there so that we can revisit it later because I'd like to, you know.
Well, hopefully we don't have to. They win a playoff game. Hopefully they win a playoff game and we don't have to.
What did you make of that?
Well, you make it seem like Nick Sirianni isn't able to stop a free fall. I've seen it twice. I look at the 2024 season when the Eagles made adjustments after that shaky start to the season and they revert to a run dominant team. Just so everyone knows, just so you know, like that doesn't happen without the coach green lighting that.
Who came up with that idea?
But it doesn't. You're the coach. You can override that.
I got you.
As critical as I am of Nick Sirianni, I give him credit for listening.
So do I.
We have heard of coaches that are like, nah.
I always have given him credit for that.
Chip Kelly.
But
didn't listen to anybody.
Was that Nick Sirianni sitting in his room like the mad scientist going, nope, this is what we need to do. It required a palace coup of players going in and saying, this is what needs to be done. Change the plan.
But you don't know that Nick Sirianni wasn't like, oh, okay, yeah, no, this is what I think we need to do in order to reach our fullest potential as an offense. You're assuming that it was solely the offensive line, and that they weren't operating in concert there. If you're the head coach, you have to sign off on that.
Well, no, you're the head coach. You have to sign off on it, but it certainly was them coming to him with the idea that they came to him and said, what are we doing here? Let's change this up.
Yeah, but Nick Sirianni is he prides himself for being an offensive mind and throwing the football. That takes a little bit of, this is the best course of action.
In 7 games into his tenure, I still will forever believe, and I believe it on pretty good authority, that I don't think he decided to take play calling away from himself 7 games into his career and give it to Shane Steichen. I believe it was sort of, this is probably the best thing for you to do. Let Shane call.
Hey, per Jonathan Gannon, it was his idea.
And then we just see, then I saw 2023, then I saw 2025. I've just seen too many times where it's not Nick being able to say, I'm going to fix something. He's like me. I can't fix anything around the house. I have to have an expert come in and do it. Now I credit him for what he's great at. I think it's a great quality to be able to be a leader of men, to be an assembly, to be a guy who can assemble a great staff and to be able to come up with the plan to keep everybody and let them work. But I think it's all
okay. But when you said TikTok, you're on, time's ticking, and you looked in the camera for dramatic effect. They were 11 months removed from winning a Super Bowl.
They were,
and you're saying that he needs to prove it to you.
Yes, and I believe it.
Like I just thought,
because it's the third time it's the third time in his tenure that it happened.
They were 11 months removed from winning a Super Bowl.
I got you.
Look at his winning percentage.
I got you.
I think you're underselling, in my estimation. I think you're underselling Nick Sirianni's value,
and that's fine. They almost
as Switzerland over here.
Sure,
because I like to, I'm playing the long game.
You could have the Super Bowl one day.
I could have the Super Bowl one day. Is it fair to point out he has needed really good coordinators? 2 years that he's won, and the 3 years that he had, or the two. I'll excuse the first year. 2 years that he's won, the 2 years that he hasn't, and you're going, well, how come you can't fix some of these issues?
Yeah, but show me a team that doesn't need good coordinators.
No, I know that.
No, the other part.
I know that, but I mean, like Sean McVay, if his offensive coordinator sucked, it didn't matter because Sean McVay's the one that's calling
yeah, but he's
plays.
a CEO coach. Is John Harbaugh stepping in for comparison? Is he stepping in and righting their wrongs?
No, maybe not.
Or maybe he's hired.
Dan Campbell tried. It didn't necessarily work out for him when he tried to step in for the offense.
Or maybe
I just gave a few examples. I mean, it can't always be Nick Sirianni not doing this, not doing that. I mean, there's other examples of coaches that haven't been able to rectify certain things. And I think what he provides to the Eagles and being around the team as I am and talking to players as I do, yeah, I mean, you're going to get a different – you'll definitely hear something more along the lines of what I am saying.
All right. Joining us now here on Kincade Salciunas on a Thursday where Andrew Deco is in studio with us. The Eagles talk will be put on hold for a little bit because this man covers the Phillies and Flyers, which we will get to. There is a Flyers question.
Yes.
That we will get to.
Nice.
When we talk to our man, Ant Sanfilippo from On Pattison. Ant, good morning. How are we?
Doing great, gentlemen. Good to be back with you.
You know what? Let me just start with the Flyers one because it's going to be mainly Phillies because we need to figure out what this illness that Kyle Schwarber is dealing with is. Did a celebrity chef break news of Dan Vladar?
You know, you can't really break news for something that's not allowed until July 1st. But I have a feeling that we're going to hear that deal is as close to being done as possible without officially being official.
In case people don't know, Steve Martirano, who is a celebrity chef, TV personality, he had Dan Vladar at his restaurant, and he basically put out a post celebrating this man who just got an extension. We're like, wait, what?
What?
Yeah, you're not obviously. So they because they signed him. The rules of the NHL. They signed him as a free agent last year. You're not allowed to give somebody that you sign as a free agent an extension on their contract until 1 year after you signed him. So they signed him July 1st last year, so they cannot give him any extension until July 1st of this year. That said, the Flyers are very comfortable with the notion of extending Vladar. I've been trying to get details of where they might be. I hear, and this isn't anything that's final, so I don't want this to be saying that I'm reporting that this is a done deal, but I hear that it's probably in the neighborhood of 5 years, and we could be looking somewhere in the neighborhood of $5.75 to $6 million per year for that contract.
I love that deal.
Wow, how about that?
I don't think that's outrageous at all. Is that like crazy for me to say that? I think that still feels pretty economical.
Well, it is. And, John, it's really economical because when you look at how much the cap is going up over the course of the next several years, I mean, it'll be $130 million by the third year, right, or the second year of that extension. So 3 years from now, and he's only going to be making 5.75 ish as a starting goaltender, and only at that age he'll be 30. I think he'll be 30 at that point, 30 or 31.
It's fantastic.
That's not bad. That's a good number.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah. All right.
That is awesome. What any other news about somebody who maybe has like one of those like hockey head mullets that might be signing a certain forward who everybody fell in love with this year too?
You're talking about Trevor Zegras.
Yeah, I was thinking that might be. I didn't want to. I don't want to tamper. I don't want any tampering.
The only thing that I've heard there, and I thought that they were going to get that deal done, in all honesty, back in March. There was a lot of momentum back then, and I had heard from people on both sides of that was getting really, really close. And then they went on the crazy run. And once they went on the crazy run, it was like, all right, we're going to table this until this is all over. So I kind of anticipate that that's going to happen too. What I think really is the holdup there is the Flyers, on the Flyers end, trying to determine, do we want to pay him as a center or do we want to pay him as a winger? I think that they're comfortable giving him one of those max deals where he'll be here for 8 years or whatever the case might be. I don't think that that's a problem. As far as the term, I guess the question is, where do we see him fitting into our team? And then that's the dollar figure that we're going to be going to. I think it's going to be north of $8 million. I'm just not sure, where in that range as an AAV. But I'm pretty confident that one's going to get done. I'm also confident the Drysdale contract is going to get done. But I think that one, guys, by preference of the player, is going to be a shorter deal. Some guys want shorter deals now because of the way that the salary cap is rising, and they feel like they can get another one and get more money down the line, a bigger contract. So they're going to be looking for a shorter deal. So I think that one could be in the neighborhood of 3 or 4 as opposed to the 8 that you could still sign guys to through this summer. But at the same time, I think that one's going to get done as well.
And the Flyers put out a pretty extensive list of injuries after the season. Which of the players listed with those injuries concerns you the most?
I don't know if I guess of the players that are, and this is not even a big deal. I mean, as far as player on the roster and his meaning to the roster. But when you hear things like about Nikita Grabenkin, and they say, we thought he was a chance he could get back here in the playoffs, and now it's looking like it might be something that has to go into next year, and they still haven't exactly told you what it is. That concerns me a little bit, because that was a player that I really liked as a depth guy, and I thought that could be a real piece here to kind of move things forward. The fact that he might not be able to start the season, and they're telling you that now, that's a concern to me, because that's a really long-term injury, right? That's something that he will have missed about 7 months at that point, and you wonder, well, how bad is it, right? So that's the only one. The other ones all seemed, I mean, they were significant injuries, but all seems like something that's not going to slow them down during the summer. I know Tippett sounded scary, but a sports hernia is a sports hernia, and then there was internal bleeding, but they expected the internal bleeding thing to clear up quick, and that the sports hernia, they don't think it's going to be anything really limiting him this summer. So, I guess that one's the second most concerning, but not really super concerned.
All right, and now we get to pivot to the Phillies. Kyle Schwarber has been out of the lineup the last 3 days due to an illness. However, he's been around the team for 2 of those 3 games. Also had his block party last night where it raised $1 million for Schwarber's Neighborhood Heroes charity.
Which is unbelievable.
Amazing.
That's a lot.
But, Ant, tell me the time you ever wanted to be near a sick person.
Yeah, I know. So here's the thing. Like, I kind of get the sense, and the way Don Mattingly said it to us in his office yesterday was, he called it a stomach ailment, and when he was asked to give a little bit more detail, he just wanted to leave it at that. What does that tell you, guys? It tells you he's been having, he's been having, bubble guts a little bit. That doesn't necessarily mean you're sick, like, oh my God, I'm going to pass this around. It's awful. It just means like, that's not a comfortable thing to go through and try and be out there hitting baseballs, right? He was available to pinch hit yesterday, 100%. They just didn't. Mattingly said they didn't get to his spot in the lineup, or his spot where he could come in and do damage. I think they wanted him to hit a tying home run or something. And there was a possibility of the night before that just didn't happen. The first night was the one that they didn't think that he was going to play at all. I think he's going to be fine for tomorrow. It's kind of disappointing that obviously you lose the series, but it just goes to show how much he means to the lineup.
Oh yeah,
that lineup struggled as much as it did against the Reds without him there.
Do you believe that what they've done since Mattingly took over is sustainable, or do you think it's more of a blip on the radar that is not really tied to what him taking over has meant?
John, it's interesting because I'm kind of waffling with this team a little bit, right? Beginning of the season, I thought this was like a 94 win team that were going to win the division again. Even though you were quote unquote running it back, I still thought it was enough talent on this team. Then they got off to that awful start, and I looked at it and said, well, they can't be this bad, can they? And then I look at what they've done the last 21 games. I go, well, they can't be this good, can they? So I think it's probably somewhere in the middle. They're a 500 team right now. Do I think that they're a 500 team at the end of the season? I don't. I think they're a little bit better than that. Do I think that they're a 95-win team again or 94-win team? I don't. So it's probably somewhere in that 87 to 88 range is probably where they'll finish, which is from here on out, you're looking at going, 8 to 9 games over 500 the rest of the season. Can they do that? Yes, they have the pitching to do that, at least the top of the rotation for that matter. So I think that's going to be where they are, and you're probably in the wild card at that point, and then it's see what happens at the deadline and give it a shot.
And I recognize there's always so many the cards that the Phillies can play right now, but what can they realistically do to remedy the Aaron Nola situation?
Other than let him try and work his way through it, nothing. I mean, in all honesty, what can you do? He's here 4.5 more years, right? And think about it from this perspective, guys. How long did they let the Taiwan Walker thing go on? How long did they try and let him figure it out, right? Because it was tied to a lot of money and a contract. So like that's an issue that when you look at that and you go, okay, if they gave him 2+ years to work through it and figure it out before they cut bait, they're certainly going to give Aaron Nola that much time. And I think that's important also because you don't really have starting pitching depth in your organization. I mean, their next guy is Alan Ronhell. I mean, if he comes up and makes a couple of spot starts for you, okay, fine. But you don't really want to go to Alan Ronhell for the rest of the season either. So I think that you've got to get Nola at least to the point. So you look at yesterday, and he goes 5 innings, gives up 4 runs. Obviously not a good outing. But if you get him 1 more inning and 1 less run, you'll take that, right? If you get 6 innings, 3 runs, he's keeping you in the game, and you have a chance to win that game. So how do you get him from where he was yesterday, for example, to that one more inning, 1 less run, and be a back of the rotation guy?
Right.
That's what they have to figure out.
And we appreciate the time, man. Keep up the great work as always. Love your coverage of both the Phillies and Flyers for On Patterson. Always love having you on. We'll talk to you again soon.
Thanks, buddy.
Thanks, Ant.
Yeah, anytime, boys.
There he is, Ant.
Wash
Sanford.
those hands.
Yeah.
Wash
Look,
those hands.
even if it is bubble guts, I still don't want you near me.
Yeah, but he's got the poops. Mystery
3
solved.
days.
Stay away. Yeah, by the way, 3 days. Like,
Come on.
He's got the really bad poops.
Come on.
Like, look, I've had my fair share of these run-ins.
There's medicine that can keep you from pooping.
Unless my
God's
and as Connor brought up the heat earlier,
Oh, and it's
was
the
he
heat.
so dehydrated?
Oh, jeez.
How bad were the bowel movements? I don't
You
know.
know what they have? They also can give you an IV.
Yeah, I know. It's a little.
Yeah, I can't imagine exerting yourself hitting a baseball is going to
As
do
a
a lot
DH.
to alleviate
Yeah, as
that.
a DH.
And they're not just getting Gatorade, like you said. Like they're getting
They're getting
a lot of
an
treatment.
IV.
Yeah.
Stop. Just stop.
All right, coming up next. Don't play the music yet. I just want to explain what we're doing here. It's another. I always love doing these. It's Andrew versus John and Connor. Now I don't know if this one's going to be so lopsided as 7th round draft picks or what did I do? It was day 3 draft picks the last game.
Yeah.
So earlier this week when we talked about the Jalen Hurts prove it year, it was just so fitting that same day I saw a tweet, and I forget who it was that put it out there, so I'm sorry. It was Ruben Frank, that Jalen Hurts could set a franchise record week 1 this September. If he wins, he will win his 6th opening week game of his career. He would be 6-0 because he's 5-0. That would be a franchise record. Donovan McNabb 5-5, Jaws 5-5, Cunningham 5-6. So Jalen Hurts would be the first quarterback in Eagles franchise history to win 6 games in week 1. Kind of crazy.
Yeah.
I have week 1 starters by year for the Philadelphia Eagles at quarterback. And so I will give you the year. I'll give you a little clue, and you have to tell me who the quarterback is.
What's the range in terms of years?
All time. We're going back to
1930s.
1930s.
Yeah, we're going all the way back.
I'm going to go reasonable. But they've also had a couple of quarterbacks that spanned a decade. So, like, there's a couple guys.
Exactly.
There's a couple guys that are going to be thrown in there that you're going to go, oh, geez, it was really bad back then. That comes right next. Can Andrew take down both John and Connor again?
I think he's tough to beat. He's tough to beat.
That comes your way next. It's Kincade Salciunas. Andrew Deco in studio with us here on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Another rough one for Aaron Nola. I'm Connor Thomas, and the Phillies lost their first series under interim manager Don Mattingly yesterday. The final of Game 3 was 9-4 against the Reds. Aaron Nola had another rough start. He allowed 8 hits, 4 runs in 5 innings worth of work. Don Mattingly talked after the game about the struggle so far for Nola.
We talked about a lot of things. We talked about him pitching backwards, doing different things. Each team kind of presents their own set of challenges, so I can't say it's one thing.
Yeah, and it doesn't certainly seem like just one simple fix. We'll see what they do with Nola going forward. They're off today. They'll welcome the Guardians to Citizens Bank Park for a 3-game series starting tomorrow. The Sixers got some good news on their rookie VJ Edgecombe yesterday, who was named the NBA All-Rookie First Team after a great debut campaign. However, they're still looking at who's going to draft their next rookie, as their president of basketball operations position remains open after parting ways with Daryl Morey. And some concerning news for the Eagles broke last night, as it was reported that edge rusher Nolan Smith was arrested Friday, accused of speeding and reckless driving. No word on any discipline handed down from the league or the Eagles yet, but they start team off-season activities on Tuesday, so we'll keep an eye on that. Andrew Deco remains with us for the remainder of the show. I'm Connor Thomas for the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and Union, 97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic app.
Fanatic and the Fanatic app.
The final hour of Kincade and Salciunas is presented to you by The Bagster. It's a dumpster in a bag. You can get yours today at Home Depot and Lowe's. You need details? Go to Bagster.com.
All right. John and Connor versus Andrew Deco in another edition of Can Andrew Deco lose a trivia game when it comes to the Philadelphia Eagles? This one might be a little bit more even. So I have in front of me a list of Eagles starting quarterbacks week 1. All right?
Week 1.
And the reason why I decided to do this was because of the stat that came out earlier this week that if Jalen Hurts wins week 1, he will be the first quarterback in Eagles franchise history to have won at least 6 openers, which is amazing that he's 5-0.
That's amazing.
And it's funny, right? Because a lot of this came off of are they making the right decision to do this? Prove it. You're like, Jalen Hurts has had so much success for this organization. But I also, but I get it. That might not be your cup of tea. And it's like, man, but he wins. And I got to say to myself sometimes, because like there's other quarterbacks that I enjoy watching more than Jalen Hurts, but Jalen Hurts is the quarterback of the Eagles, and it's the most successful stretch ever in Eagles franchise history. But I digress. So as an example, if I said 2024, the week 1 starter of the Philadelphia Eagles was
Jalen Hurts.
All right. I'll give you a little bit extra clues moving forward. All right. I want to see if you guys can even get this one. All right, because I'm going back a little bit here.
How far?
Oh, boy.
All right, this one, Johnny. Week 1 of the 1974 season.
Roman Gabriel.
That's what I would have guessed also.
You really think this is going to be even?
Is that right?
Yeah.
Roman Gabriel. No, I would have had Roman Gabriel easy.
Well, not easy
That's
enough.
an easy one.
Because Andrew got it.
That's
I was going to say that it's their
That's
own.
an easy one. That's pretty easy.
When are you going to learn he knows
I know
the
his
Eagles?
backup. I know his backup too.
Who's his back?
I know he knows his backup.
Jaws? I don't know.
Mike Barilla.
Oh, yeah, I have no idea.
See, that's the first football team that I can remember. Mike Barilla was his backup. I bet you Mike Barilla played because he got hurt.
I was negative 20 at this point, so I feel like I might be at a bit of a disadvantage.
What I was going to say was this was their first season of at least 500 football
since
1966.
That's my first time ever remembering, like, knowing players' names and stuff like that.
Right.
That's through the quarterback was.
Well, I was going to ask who the following season's opening week starter was.
Ron Jaworski?
No,
Mike Barilla.
Mike Barilla. Right? Remember, Mike Barilla was the
Mike
backup.
Connor.
Remember Mike
I thought
Barilla.
you meant
Point
after.
Connor, 1-1 on this one. All right. Here we go. All right, let's make
Now, was Mike Barilla an opening day starter?
the very next season.
I don't remember. See, I don't remember
He was
that.
the week 1 starter. He
Okay, I
started
don't
like half
remember
the
that.
games. He hurt his knee.
Okay.
Missed an entire year
Mike
of football
Barilla
and
was
went
one
to
of
Tampa.
when they talk about the whole thing about Philadelphia loves the backup quarterback. Mike Barilla was the guy everybody
like
was
the poster
calling
child?
for because they hated Roman Gabriel.
Okay.
So he's the originator.
Yeah, like they hated Roman Gabriel.
All right. The season was 1996. He joined the Eagles in 1995, eventually playing due to the starting quarterback getting hurt.
Rodney
Ty
Peete.
Detmer.
Rodney Peete is correct.
That's wrong. Is Detmer a year later?
We will
Okay.
continue at some point. All right.
I'm off a year,
all
I
right.
guess.
This guy was the week 1 starter in 2010 before
Michael Vick.
losing his.
No, Kevin Cobb. Sorry.
We don't get 2 answers.
Well, you could jump in.
That's the year that was the year that they traded McNabb. It's Kevin Cobb.
It is Kevin
That's the year they
Cobb.
traded
You got it
Easter.
wrong.
They traded McNabb on Easter of 2010
You jumped the gun.
for Kevin Cobb, and then to give Kevin Cobb the job.
All right.
Anyone could have jumped in.
We're two to
You
2.
can't jump in twice. It's like Jeopardy.
We're 2-2. All right. Week 1 starter, 1999.
Oh my gosh. Doug Peterson. Doug Peterson.
I give Connor the answer because he hit the drop.
Knew we were going to go there. Had the drop ready.
See, that's
There you go.
cheating.
That's cheating.
That's not cheating. I guess Doug Peterson was going to be an answer, and I hit it first.
You guys are up 3-2.
Some Houston Astros
Good job,
stuff at
Connor.
play here.
I got the drop board, sir. Show some
Hey,
respect.
bang the trash can, Connor.
All right. In 1997, this man was the week 1
Ty Detmer.
starter.
Bobby Hoying.
Ty Detmer
Oh,
is correct.
freak. I thought Bobby Hoying was
We
one.
are tied.
You know what? I was torn between the
3-3.
two, John.
I thought it was Bobby Hoying because guess what?
I was torn.
If you were stupid enough to buy a Bobby Hoying jersey, raise your hand.
Oh, did you?
Yes.
Oh, that's good work by you.
I did. Idiot.
You might be Jersey banned.
I bought one.
wow.
Stupid.
Yeah, you are Jersey.
I bought
banned.
one. Stupid.
All right, this man was the Week 1 starter in 1977.
Hold on. Jaworski. That was Jaworski.
That is correct. I was
Jaworski
going to
from
go.
the Rams. They got Jaworski from the Rams.
I was going to wait to see if I needed to add a clue. And
No, they got Jaworski from the Rams.
And you got that one right. That's good work. All right.
That was Jaw's first year. First year with the Eagles. That's where they got him. It was his first year with the Eagles.
I wasn't going to give you like a random year in the middle of it.
No.
All right. This man was the Week 1 starter in 1998. Former third-round pick of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Rodney Pete. No.
Bobby Hoyne.
Bobby Hoyne.
Bobby Hoyne, you bastard. You bastard. I just said it.
You guys are tied.
See, I keep
4-4.
wanting Rodney Pete for one of these answers.
All right. This guy was the Week 1 starter in 2014.
Sam Bradford.
Nick Foles. Nick
He's
Foles.
on your team.
Nick Foles.
Oh.
2014?
2014.
Mark Sanchez.
You have to bite your tongue because he's on your team.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, Mark Sanchez was not the starter in 2014.
I thought it was Nick Foles.
I thought Foles was 2012 to 2014.
I thought so too.
I'll give you a hint,
Wait a
Andrew.
minute.
He's not accepting John's answer. So,
I mean, it is Nick Foles, but like again, you guys are on the same team, so the fact that he jumped the gun and got it
Yeah, it
wrong,
was
I was
Nick
going to
Foles,
give Andrew
2012
the
to 2014.
No, that's
but that,
okay.
no, that goes out the window.
Okay.
That goes out the window. You guys are on the
I
same
thought it was.
team.
Wait a minute. I thought it was. Well, no. I thought it was the two of us against him.
I make the rules, damn it.
No, but
I
there's
think
two
that
of
was
us
the
against
year
him.
where
So that's his.
Foles had the concussion.
Yes.
Matt Barkley had to step
Exactly.
in.
But
Yeah.
Nick Foles was the correct answer.
Nick
So I'll
Foles.
give you a point.
Yeah, we should get
I'll
a
give
point.
you half a point.
Because it's 2 against 1.
All right.
Because we need 2 against 1 with him.
All right.
Because his mind is like should be tied one hand behind his back.
All right. This guy
What year?
was the Week 1 starter in 2016.
2016.
Carson Wentz.
That is correct.
He
It
said
is
Carson first.
Wentz, and now you're tied. Previous year, who was it?
Sam Bradford.
That's a tie.
Yeah,
6-6. All right. I got one more for you. All right. I gotta make this a good one.
we're not tied, are we?
Yeah,
We're tied.
Yeah, it's 6-6 right now. This guy was the Week 1 starter in 2011.
2011.
Michael Vick.
That is correct.
Very good. That was that Dream Team.
You win by a point.
I think you're right.
That's Vince Young backup.
That was either
Dream
2011
Team. That was
or
Dream
2012.
Team.
Yeah.
Dream Team's 2011.
You
Disaster.
win by 1 point. Congratulations.
Good job.
Andrew Deco continues
Hey, Connor.
to wear the crown.
Connor, we gave it a good.
You guys hung in there,
we gave it
even
a good
though
battle.
there was some
You
foul
guys-
play in there with Connor.
Give it a good battle there. I'm looking at habanero. Look at the habaneros here.
That's a good
So
choice.
there you go.
Hot
What?
peppers. Yeah.
What?
No, we would like to, he gave a reference here, and my wife wants to go have lunch.
Oh, I was
Somewhere.
so confused.
My wife wants to go have lunch.
I'm looking at habaneros.
Great tacos, great people.
Yes, my wife wants to go have lunch.
All right, what do we have on the Davis Honda text line, Connor? And then we'll check the poll of the day brought to us by Dr. Avidan Appel and Iron Mountain Men's Health.
All right, so we have a check-in here on the conversation that we were having about Jalen Hurts. And this texter, Jackie from Mantua, says, I can't believe this conversation still about Jalen. I can't believe the rankings of him being at 19th, but also when his good years are either appearing or winning in the Super Bowl, what more do you have to prove?
Yeah, so the prove it, I think one of the things, it's kind of like when you hear a word and you think it's like, oh my God, that's such a bad thing to say about somebody. It's not like prove
Like
it
game
like
manager, you're saying reference?
like Jalen Hurts is not, does he have to prove that he belongs in the NFL? It's the Eagles are clearly heading in a direction offensively that they want. And Andrew, you could speak to this more than I can. You cover the freaking team. Like they clearly want to head in a certain direction. The league is enamored by what Kyle Shanahan and Sean McVay are doing. And you could say, well, the Eagles won without doing it that way. You're right. But the league is clearly enamored by it. The Eagles are an organization where they are analytically heavy. They want to pass the ball.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the money that's invested. Like, I know that they signed Saquon, But look at the money that's tied up. Look at the draft capital that they just used on their first and second round picks, wide receiver and a tight end, and not a tight end that's just going to block, a tight end that they could use all over the field. They want to throw the football. This is a prove-it year that Jalen Hurts can do what they clearly want to do.
Yeah, this is what they want to do. And if executed properly, it should make life easier for the quarterback because I think there's going to be even more drastic changes in terms of the run schematics, the run game schematics, where you're seeing more outside zone type of runs, accentuating what these offensive linemen that the Eagles have can do because they are athletic. They can get to space. And then as a running back, you have to have the patience and the vision to be able to execute. But when that's firing on all cylinders, it's going to open up a lot of opportunities for the offense to get things rolling in the passing game. Now, I'm not expecting there to be an abundance of explosive plays, but more chain-moving type of throws, timing-based throws. But in order to be able to be successful doing that, the ball's got to come out. You have to throw with anticipation and timing.
And a lot of people question whether or not Hurts is good at that.
What is the well, I saw him be good at it at Oklahoma. Saw him be good at it, and I saw him be the best best passer rating between the hash marks in the NFL.
Would you agree
in
that
22.
Defense in college, like Oklahoma and some of the competition, a little bit different than the NFL?
Yes, but I saw him have the best passer rating between the hash marks in the NFL in 2022.
Yeah, it's not a question about whether or not he can do it because we've seen him do it. It's about doing it consistently. And I need to harp on that word consistently because it can't be a game here, a game there. Well, what about the Pittsburgh Steelers game? What about this game, the Vikings game that you hear a lot? It has to be about doing it on a week in and week out basis.
Yep. All right, fair enough. Coming up next, check a couple more text messages and the poll of the day brought to us by Dr. Abadan Appel and Iron Mountain Men's Health. But also, non-Eagle-related story, but I'm curious how one person can destroy their own legacy. We're going to get into that coming up next. It is Kincade and Salciunas, our man Andrew Deco in studio with us here on 97.5 The Fanatic. All right, let's talk about such an incredible experience that I can't wait to live personally. But for those of you who have never been on a Philly Sports Trips trip before, I hope you join me when I go to Nashville. All right? Here at the Fanatic, we're teaming up with Philly Sports Trips to put together another incredible epic Birds road game trip with a lot of lunatic Birds fans. I love that. That's respectfully said, of course. And we're taking over Nashville. You got to trust me. This is more than just going to a game and getting fired up for a game and then going home. This is a whole damn experience. If you ever wanted to roll into an away stadium or just an away city with a bunch of Birds fans, this is the way to do it. Go to phillysportstrips.com now and check out all the travel games, right? Like, it's not just Nashville. That's the one that I'll be attending, but there's games in London. There's a game in Arizona. There's a game in Chicago. There's the divisional matchups. But let's face it, this is the one that's going to be hit out of the park. Special guests that will be on the trip. David Akers will be there. Maybe he can still kick. Hollis Thomas will be there. And the beauty of Philly Sports Trips, it's basically an all-inclusive. You pay Vince the money. He takes care of the rest. Not only will your travel be taken care of to the airport or at the airport to Nashville, from the airport to the hotel that you're staying, to the game, you name it, you will have the welcome happy hour Thursday. There's a bar crawl already scheduled for you Friday. There's a free day for you Saturday, and the Eagles pep rally will be Saturday night. There's the all-inclusive pre- and post-game tailgates on Sunday. And then, of course, they take care of you flying you back on Monday. So just give him the money. He takes care of the rest. Start planning. Grab your crew. Check out all the details now at phillysportstrips.com. That's phillysportstrips.com.
The Sixers have fired Daryl Morey and 97.5, The Fanatic.
All right, it's 9:48 here on Kincade Salciunas, 97.5, The Fanatic. Middays with Marks comes your way next. Johnny Marks, Sean Brace. I have not stepped out there. I'm guessing Ray done back middays because there's no day Phillies
I
games.
saw Ray. Ray's out there.
Because Ray was doing
well.
Unfiltered, doing a great job.
Ray did a great job.
Filling in
TV
for Ricky
star.
Bo. He is, everybody's wondering if he's single and if he's got, good for Ray.
What I tell you, all the girls my daughter's age at Temple, they all have like little crushes on Ray Dunn.
Yeah. All right, look.
How about that?
He's a handsome fella. He works hard.
Well, he makes sure that he's at every event possible.
Yeah.
I don't know how he does it, but he does it.
They love him. He's out and about. But you know what, though? When you say man of the people, Ray Dunn lives the man of the people lifestyle. He's amongst the people.
Hell yeah, man.
Yeah, what everyone should understand about Ray is that he's authentic, 100% authentic.
Oh, absolutely. We love Ray. All right. What's the poll looking like there, Connor? Poll of the day brought to us by Dr. Avedon Pell and Iron Mountain Men's Health. How's it look?
Oh, you're still asking about right. Our poll today. Who do you believe this is more of a prove it year for? 53% of our responders are saying Jalen Hurts, 47% for Nick Sirianni, near an even split.
That's incredible. That's incredible. Like usually when you do a poll, you don't expect it to be even.
It's almost like they have the same resume.
It's incredible. It's absolutely incredible.
All right. Speaking of resume, has there been anyone, and problems with the law and problems with all that kind of stuff aside, is there anybody that has tarnished their legacy, not legacy, but the way you think of them more than Aaron Rodgers? Yesterday, Aaron Rodgers had his press conference because the Steelers reported to OTAs yesterday. Eagles will be on Tuesday. A lot of teams started this week. And he announced that it is indeed his final year in the National Football League. And I just kind of was like, finally. You know what I mean? Like, I used to love watching Rodgers. Like, prime Rodgers was must-see TV. The throws that he was able to make off his back foot, the way he was able to just kind of spin it, like, the connections that he had over the years with guys like Jordy Nelson. Like,
remember the Cardinals playoff game?
Yeah.
The wild card game?
Oh, my God. He was, like, I loved watching Aaron Rodgers play. And then just all the off-the-field stuff. And, I mean, again, not we're not talking about problems with the law. We're just talking about the ayahuasca and, like, wait, you're not that deep of a thinker, bro. And the where am I going to play? And
Now,
the Jets.
so he says it's his last year. Do you believe him, or is this like a band that says they're going to have a farewell tour? Like Kiss said they're going to have a farewell tour in 1996, and they were still doing shows in like 2024.
I believe it, even though he's very much following the same path as Brett Favre, who he seems to have hated, but he wants to be exactly like.
Who he said, yeah.
Isn't it amazing that
he bitched and complained that Brett Favre would not take the time to take him under wing and everything, and then he did the same thing to his back.
Now he just has to steal money from
What
poor
a
people.
jerk.
I don't care anymore. And that's a shame. And part of it is like I look at the Steelers organization. I'm a football fan. Like, right? Like I love the Eagles, go Birds, but I'm a football fan too. And I like the Steelers are a proud organization.
Mm-hmm.
And what they've been doing the last couple of years, I think they just fooled themselves thinking that they're going to win anything with any of these quarterbacks that they've tried out. I mean, they had Russ there. Like they've tried out Justin Fields. Like it's been embarrassment, really, like for that organization. And when Rodgers made that announcement yesterday, I was kind of like, all right, good. Like, go away.
Well, I think that speaks to the point that I made earlier, that it's so hard to find a franchise quarterback that you're seeing a lot of patchwork options across the NFL. These middling quarterbacks that they're just trying to make do with. That's why, you have to be careful what you wish for, because they are so hard to identify. When you have one, you tend to want to hold on to them as long as possible.
Or you're the Seahawks and you find Sam Darnold and you win a Super Bowl.
That seems to be a rare case.
Yeah, extremely rare. I don't know, John, when you found out that Rodgers was playing his last season, like, did you even have a reaction?
I'm so over
That's
him.
what I'm saying, and that's a shame.
And I don't understand why you would hire a new coach and you're bringing in a grandpa to come and play for 1 year.
Well, it's not a new coach. New coach, same as the old coach for Aaron Rodgers.
But he's not winning. He's not going to. You're not going to win a Super Bowl this year. And here is a guy who is blatantly bragged about the fact that he's not there to tutor the young quarterbacks and to teach them and to be this great teammate.
Well, what's he going to teach Drew Aller?
So why the hell is he there? Why are you putting it off for another?
Sell tickets.
So what is this year in Pittsburgh? Their season ticket waiting list is like it is here.
Yeah, Pirates are getting good.
Nobody has to buy tickets in Pittsburgh. I mean, it's a stupid decision to me.
Yeah, I just don't get it.
I don't get him.
And it's a shame because, like, I see on our YouTube channels people that love Aaron Rodgers. I loved Aaron Rodgers. And this is nothing.
You loved his game,
There's
right?
no politics here. There's nothing. It's
No.
just like every once in a while you see a guy where you're like, all right, just go home, man. Like, just.
Yeah, I mean, he is the or one of the best natural throwers that the game's ever seen.
Part of me's sad
Just
watching
the
him
natural
play
arm talent that he has is something that you're not going to see. You don't come across
the
very
fact
often.
he didn't win more is shocking.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you would expect that he would have won more, but he had some bad home losses.
Yeah, and like somebody's chiming in on YouTube, like the COVID. It's not even that. It's just Aaron Rodgers has become more than just football nowadays, right? Like we all agree that it's like when you think of Aaron Rodgers, my first thought isn't necessarily football anymore.
No,
it's Pat McAfee show. It's
a ayahuasca retreats. It's mystery wives that nobody's ever seen.
It's he's on the beach and has no idea that cameras are around.
See, this is a funny conversation because you guys see all this and know all this, and the first thing I think of is football because I don't.
Right,
it doesn't show up. It doesn't show up in my algorithm. I don't read
wanted
tabloids.
To just be football, but it's not anymore with Aaron Rodgers.
Right. No, and I totally understand it, but it's just funny to see the discrepancy. Like I am not privy to any of that. I just see him as the football player that it's probably time to, hang it up.
Yeah, and to the other end of the spectrum, there are plenty of casual fans who probably remember his time in Green Bay, aren't as into that just watch football on Sundays and don't worry about all this other stuff. There's no right or wrong, but there are people who aren't involved in it.
Neil checks in. Fans have this weird obsession of overhating Rodgers. His teammates generally love him. You know who else is generally loved by his teammates? A.J. Brown.
That's factual.
But he's going to get traded because he became a problem for the Eagles. Like Aaron Rodgers, I don't think he's problematic. He's just old. He's just not good anymore. He's not the same Aaron Rodgers from 5 years ago. Please. It's not that people don't,
I don't
like
understand
him.
it.
It's just
you have a new coach. What are you doing?
You know what was fascinating about Aaron Rodgers last season? He absolutely loved Kenny Gainwell.
He loved Kenny G, man. Yeah,
and he advocated for him to get compensated and did everything that he could to really feature him. And I thought that was really interesting because you could always see that he had the talent, Kenny Gainwell in Philadelphia, but he was their team MVP last year.
Yeah, he was, which is crazy. All right, Andrew, thanks as always, brother. Appreciate it.
Appreciate you guys.
What do we got this weekend? A little Birds Digest?
Yeah, a little Birds Digest, Saturday, Sunday morning, 8 to 9, and the podcast, Birds Buzz. And you read all my work on InsideTheBirds.com. Much appreciated.
It's the best.
Love
we'll
it.
Checking it out. Everybody have a great rest of your day. Middays with Marks next here on The Fanatic.